and he's a fight fans fighter.
The Ennis Express is a runaway train.
Ain't no pressure when you built for this.
Man down, round one. The truth hurts.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the undefeated super flyweight from San Antonio, Texas, Jesse Bam Rodriguez! The universally recognized undisputed lightweight champion of the world, Devin the Dream Haney!
What's good, family? What's good? Man, appreciate everybody stopping through tonight. Once again, man, this is episode 6, man, Rockin With Rightside. And we got another special guest in the building, man. We got my brother, All Positive Network, in the building. You feel me? So, me and him, we going to touch on some things tonight, man. And, you know, first things first, make sure we all get in the building, man. Smash that like button. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Hit the bell for notifications, man. And we're going to bring my brother in the building. You know what I mean? Positive. You there? You hear me, bro?
Yo, what's going on?
What's up, family? What's up, man? We're gonna how you feeling? First things first, man. How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling great, man. I just did like 6 miles a day, did 8 yesterday. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling great, man.
Hey, you running 6 and 8 miles, bro. You can't be feeling anything but great. I ain't mad at you.
I walked 8 yesterday. I ran 3 and walked 6 today.
Okay. I got you. Man, let me we gonna chop up or shout out some of the individuals that showed up so far, man. We got my brother D-Ray Promotions in the building. Salute to D-Ray, man. Much love. Appreciate you coming through. Great interview last week with you, brother. Much love to you. Much love, man. We got my brother Mike Biggs Boxing in the building, man. Salute to Mike Biggs, man. Much love, Mike Biggs. If y'all don't know, Mike, he got his channel going over there, man. He doing it big time over there, man. So definitely, man, y'all definitely go show that brother love. You know what I mean? And when y'all get in the building, man, drop a comment. Let me know you in the building. You feel me? So I can show you some love. We got the one, the only, okay, TBS in the building. The boxing section with Kyle, my brother.
Kyle, what's going on, man? Kyle, what's up?
Hey, Kyle, man, I got to get your information, bro. I got to get you up on the show too, bro. Man, we had a scheduling mishap yesterday, man. So, hey, Mike Biggs, you too, Bruce Gas. I got to get all y'all on, bro. So I just got through the end of my September schedule. So I'm trying to see how this October is going to be looking, man. So, you know, Kyle, bro, I would get you next week, bro. I'm booked up until at least October right now, but I'm getting started on my October schedule coming up pretty soon. And so I get you on the first week of October if that'll work. Biggs, I'll get you on. Both of y'all can be on back-to-back days, Monday and Tuesday, if y'all can do that. You feel me? So we'll definitely try to make it happen, though. We'll definitely try to make it happen. Okay, yeah, first week of October. Yeah, all right. Should I probably pop on the show tonight and we'll chop it up about it? Let me see, man. We got my brother, the OG in the building, man. Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more. If you want to know where to find that good gas, because he always smoking on it. If you want to hear some good old school boxing talk and the good jazz talk, you feel me? That's where you need to go. You need to be over there, sub to that brother, because he's doing a hell of a job. He has special guests on, and you never know who you might find on show from all the old school fighters seem to be joining the panel over there. So, hey, man, Bruce, keep doing your thing, brother. Keep doing your thing, man. So, let's see. Damn, son, all gravy, my bro. Absolutely, man. So, we'll definitely, man, I'll get with Kyle, I'll get with you and Mike, man, and try to get y'all on the show, hopefully that first week of October, man. Salute to my brother Teach in the building, man. Much love to you, Teach. Appreciate you showing up and showing out tonight, man. So positive, man. What's good, bro? So, you know, tonight, man, we want to touch on some things. We want to get to know you a little better. And for anybody who don't know, the show is definitely, it's about getting to know content creators, and the members of the chat fam, the members who jump on the panels You feel me? Anybody who's in the YTBC and who's that we talk to on a regular basis, just trying to get to know the family better and give them an opportunity to explain what they got going on, who they are, and all those type of things, man. So positive, man. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. And I know when I said I had the show, I wanted to get the show started too. It was like, hey, man, I'd love to jump on with you. So, man, appreciate the enthusiasm, man, and the support that you're giving me tonight, bro.
Oh yeah, no problem. You know, and you know, you my man's because I never open up to anybody. I'm a very private guy. But you can ask me anything. You my man's, and I see your channel growing. Anything I can do to help you out. And I love listening at your channel. I don't always join the panel, but I still listen and look at your channel, man. I like your KQKC. I love that interview.
I love that interview. That was a hell of an interview, man. And I love that. We got my brother, man, Bugs Bunny in the building. Salute to you, Bugs. Thoughts on Wilder being ranked so high with the sanctioning bodies with 0 wins in 3 years? Wow, that's a tough question right there. And we'll get to it. We're going to get to it. We're going to get to the boxing question soon. But before we get to them, man, we're going to jump right into this thing, man. All positive, man. You know, break it down, bro. Tell me where you're from. You know what I mean? I know where you're from, but, you know, for the people listening, let them know where you're from, man. And how'd you get started off loving the sport of boxing? What was it like as a child, man? Hey, start from day one with me if you don't mind.
Oh yeah, all right, man. I was born in Greenville, North Carolina. That's where I live right now, man. It's I was born. It's Vidant Hospital now, but it used to be Pitt County Memorial Hospital in the 70s and 80s and 90s. But now it's Vidant Hospital now. But I was born in the late 70s. Mid to late 70s, I just say in that time frame. And I've always watched my dad was a big boxing fan, and my mom watched boxing. My mom never liked Muhammad Ali for some reason, but my dad was a big fan of his, and I would always look at these highlights of on Sunday afternoons on NBC would have boxing, ABC Wide World of Sports, and I would always look at them. And then I remember I was around the third grade, and I always watch boxing with my family. I was around the third grade, and it was Black History Month. And you know Black History Month in public school, everybody always do Martin Luther King, Harriet Tubman, same old back in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? I hadn't even heard of Malcolm X at that point when I was in the third grade back in the early 80s, whatnot, mid 80s. So I grabbed this book from the library. It was about Muhammad Ali. I think Muhammad Ali hadn't long retired. He had retired in 81. So he hadn't long been retired when I did this report. So I started doing this report, and I read the book. I read it over and over, man. And I started learning about it. I would see him on the Sunday afternoon. They would show old fights on NBC on Sundays and sometimes Saturdays, whatever. And they show the fights with him and Listen, him and Patterson, whatever, the old Rocky Marciano fights. I'm like, yo, I think I want to get into this. And this was like around the time of Hagler, like right before Hagler and Hearns was about to occur. I think that was 85. Hagler and Hearns was early 85. That was around the time that they was building up this fight. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, that's what got me into boxing. I've been going strong at it ever since, man. I just been addicted since the early 80s.
So is it safe to say Muhammad Ali back then, or at that time, he was your favorite fighter back then?
At that time, before I learned more about Muhammad Ali, but I don't want to get more into that. But I still like Ali as a fighter. I still think he's the greatest heavyweight of all time, and I like Ali as a fighter until I started doing more and more research, and I started finding things out, and I'm like, uh-oh. And I think I was around 19. I was around 20, 19 or 20 years old when I was like, uh-oh, what? I did not know this stuff because I read Ali's book with Thomas Hauser, The Life and Times of Muhammad Ali. And I started reading other things. And I was like, man, I didn't like the way he was treating Joe Frazier. Especially what Joe Frazier did for him. So I'm like, I don't really like this guy like that much. But, I still think Ali's it. And then I found out about the whole NOI thing and the Malcolm X thing. And this is before all these documentaries on YouTube and Netflix. I've been knowing this back when I was like in my early 20s. I'm like, I don't know if I would have liked this guy if I was coming up, if I had read all this, but I still think Ali's great. I'm not saying this. I don't want nobody to hate Ali. I don't hate Ali, but I'm just saying I became not as fond of him in my early 20s up to now in my mid 40s as I was as a child. I was enamored with him as a child, but I'm not like that at the moment.
Got you. So, man, real quick, shout out to my brother Tupac 13, man. Appreciate you coming through tonight, Pop. Much love to you, brother. Much love to you. Also, man, we got a regular on the channel, man. My brother Sir Antbo is in the building. Salute to you, Sir Antbo. Appreciate you, bro. So, now, okay, so it started off with Ali. So then after, who would you say right now, if I ask you who your all-time favorite fighter is, right?
Oh, no, that's Bernard Hopkins, easily. Bernard Hopkins, baby.
B-Hop.
B-Hop, man. And anything about Bernard wasn't always my favorite because when Bernard fought Roy Jones, I was more of a Roy Jones fan. When he fought Roy Jones on the undercard of Riddick Bowe. Who was Riddick Bowe? I forgot who he fought. Riddick Bowe. It was on HBO. And Bernard lost the decision. It was like 8-4, 9-3. And I was more of a Roy Jones fan at the time. But Bernard eventually got the IBF middleweight title. And the middleweight division at the time, when he had the title, he was the champion. He was the IBF. And you had William Joppy, Keith Holmes. Nobody even cared. Well, Lonnie Bradley was a WBO champion, but nobody cared about the WBO back then. But, they had all these fighters, and nobody fought each other until 2001 when Don King had a tournament, when Trinidad finally moved up. And then they had a tournament. And I remember being so scared for Bernard. I was in the military. I was on gate guard the night it happened. And I was so afraid for Bernard, man. I'm like, man, Trinidad's going to kill Bernard, man. Bernard was considered old at the time at 36. And I'm like, man, I didn't eat that whole day. I had a knot in my stomach. I'm like, man, Bernard is going to get killed tonight, man. Because he threw the Puerto Rican flag down. They were doing the tour and all that. And then I got up, went to gate guard again the next morning, got off, and I went to my office. I wanted to see on ESPN what round did Trinidad knock Hopkins out in. So I pulled it up on ESPN. This is back before ESPN had a little boxing, even had a boxing tab. Back then, you had to go to ESPN, you had to click on More Sports, and you had to scroll all the way down and click on boxing, and then the boxing thing would come up. It's like 21 years ago. So I scrolled down, I clicked on it, and the picture appeared. Hopkins had his tattoo on the back, and it was like, Bernard Hopkins, TKO Trinidad. And I was always a fan. That really made me a fan that this 36-year-old guy be the prime guy at that point who was tearing through the division, because 36 was considered old back then in 2001.
Yeah, they're still considered old by some people now. So
yeah, but guys, they're fighting longer because they're not fighting as much. So guys are fighting longer now into their 40s. So that's why that was considered old back then and washed up at 36.
And they ain't fighting everybody. Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So, but before so Bernard Hopkins, if we have to say that's your all-time favorite fight, okay, I'm cool with that, man. So, you brought up your military time, man. If you would elaborate what branch of the military you were in, and how did that play a role in your life? How did you end up going to the military?
I went to the Army. The only reason, I'm gonna tell you the truth, the only reason I went to the Army, because where I'm from, boxing is not big. It's not big now, but it's bigger than what it once was. And I'm thinking, man, this is the only way this is going to get me to the Olympics, going to the military for boxing. Cause we don't have a big amateur program here. We only had one boxing gym. I'm like, dude, this is the only way going to get me to the Olympics for boxing. It's just an easier path. So that's why I joined, to be to actually try out for the All Army boxing team. That's what I want to do, because at the time, Julius Fogel, you can Google him. Julius Fogel was like one of the main guys. 165 was the main fighter, the biggest fighter on the All Army boxing. I was reading in magazine. I'm like, yo, if this guy can do all this, man, I can go through the military. I can try out for the team, whatever. And then the military happened, I started having injuries, and I had to stop fighting and all this stuff. I'm like, oh man, all them injuries start stacking up.
I asked the wrong question, man. Let me.
And that's the right question. That's why I joined the military, because of boxing. That's why I joined.
No. So when did you realize that you wanted to box, and when was your first time getting in the ring? Let me ask that.
When I realized I wanted to box, I was a kid. I was like, when I tell you, I read that Ali book, man, as a child in elementary school.
And so go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, so how old were you the first time you remember putting on the gloves? You know what I mean? Going to the gym, hitting the bag, working out, and then sparring, doing everything. You know what I mean? And also, did you fight? Did you go to the different tournaments, Gold Glove type tournaments, or were you just kind of boxing in North Carolina?
Actually, I did do some tournaments. We had a gym. It was on Dickinson Avenue. It was like a karate / boxing gym. You can look him up, Bill McDonald. He did the boxing. He did not the boxing, but he did the karate thing. Bill McDonald, he was an insurance guy, but he also had a karate gym on Dickinson Avenue. But he recently passed away some years ago. It was a boxing slash. They had boxing there too, slash karate. And my mom got me, actually, that's what she did. She got me into that, but at a young age, like, I mean, to the martial arts, and she helped me with the boxing, whatever. But my mom didn't want me doing boxing too much because she was like, why you want to do that? Why you want to get your brains beat in? You see how Ali is now. I'm like, man, like, I'm a defensive fighter. Like, the time, Sweet Pea, yeah, the 84 Olympics, so I like Sweet Pea a lot too. So I'm like, I don't like getting hit. so I was kind of tentative to throw punches, what I'm saying? Beat in. I would do, like, even as a teenager, do a little tournaments here because Bone Crusher Smith was the what's the word I'm looking for? I want to say chairman of the state. Is that the word? Like our state chairman, like the head guy, commissioner, the boxing commissioner of North Carolina. That was Bone Crusher Smith for a while. I was saying, even as my adult years, but I think he was still, I forgot who it was back then, but I think he was that in the 90s. But like, they would have tournaments like in Raleigh, a lot of tournaments in Raleigh. That's an hour and a half from Greenville. But Greenville didn't have any tournaments, but we would have like the gyms that I would do our sparring gym. And I bought a couple of tournaments here and there, even in my teenage years and through my 20s. But my last fight, actually, with my passbook, I still have my passbook. My last fight was March 2000. My last amateur fight, 22 years ago. Still got the pass.
Look, that's a lot. That's more than a lot of individuals, talking the sport right now. So, I've never had a amateur fight, so I can't. Hey, I salute you for getting in the ring, bro, and you know what I mean, and even going and trying to make that next step, and using your avenues that you had available to you. You know what I mean? That's very commendable, bro. So, man, when you were boxing, man, I know you said you didn't like to get hit. Describe, what type of fighter were you? Did you have power? I think you said you fought at 165.
165, yeah. And that was my walk. That was my walk around weight. Look, I fought at 165, but I walked around like 169, 170. I wasn't draining, doing all this cutting because amateur boxing, you don't get 24 hours to rehydrate. You weigh in that day, you fight that day. Yep. So that was like my walk around weight. I'm fighting walk around, and I didn't know I had power. I would always talk to my opponents after the fight, and I would talk to the guys in my camp. I would spar with them, and I was thinking like, man, I don't think I got the power to hurt these guys. But these guys would always tell me afterward. They were like, yo, when you caught me in that round, man, I saw a white light. I'm like, how? I didn't even hit him that hard. I didn't know I had a power like that. But I didn't know I had power like that until I got older, in my 30s, years after I stopped, and I would go to the gym and I would spar with these younger guys. They were like 19, 20. And these guys, I'm thinking like, man, these punches, they don't feel like they did when I was younger. Like, punches hurt a little more, but when they would hurt me, then I would try to hurt them to let them know, like, look, you hurt me. And then the trainer told me one day, because the gym now is on 10th Street. It's on 10th Street now in Greenville, North Carolina. And the trainer told me one day, he's like, I can tell these guys hit you with something you don't like because then you hurt them. And I never knew I had that. I always had that power, but I wasn't sitting on my punches because I was like a defensive fighter like Sweet Pea. And I was like Floyd. Me and Floyd the same age, so I won't say like Floyd Mayweather. I didn't grow up looking at Floyd Mayweather. I was like a Sweet Pea type fighter. I didn't sit on my punches like that. I always peck, try to get decision, not get hit. Boring fighter. Very boring fighter. I didn't like looking at my own fights over.
And that's what they would call you. You were a boxer, man. You were a boxer.
Yeah.
People, I hate that term, boring fighter. I don't know what a real boring fighter is because I love the science. So all of it is exciting to me. Just watching the different ways guys go out about and dissect their opponents, whether it's with power, whether just using their advantages. I just don't see it as boring. You can't tell me who are boring. Well, I'm pretty sure you probably could. I could think of a boring fighter. I ain't gonna say that, man. So all right. So as as far as your experience in the sport, outside of just the amateur career, did you have any other involvement, coaching, training, anything like that? Did you work with any guys, anything outside of actually getting in the ring and fighting? Any experience there?
Man, I always wanted to work with guys in boxing. Actually, let me correct that. We have two gyms now. We have one on 10th Street. We have the one on Albemarle Ave. I go there sometimes and look at the guy training. I talk to the guy that runs the gym. But I always wanted to train other fighters. But then I found out, like, man, these kids, they are lazy. They don't want to do anything. Because everybody was like, it's like, I still got boxing equipment. I got the bag in my crib, speed bags and all that stuff. And the guys in their 20s and the teenagers come by and they're like, man, I want to get in the boxing. The first thing I tell them, like, okay, let's go run 3 miles right now. I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that. I'm like, if you don't want to do that, then you can't take boxing serious. You can't run 3 miles with me right now.
Man, you got to get that road work in.
You got to get road work in. I like you can't take it serious if you're not gonna put the work in. So I'm not even waste my time with it.
Hey man, so real quick, my brother Teach, he said, who's the first guy that made you think twice? Like, hell no, I don't want to take another punch from that guy.
look, I'm gonna tell you something. Yo, I fought a guy, and I got a picture with him. I took a picture with him. It was a guy named Kenneth Irons. He caught me with a punch, and you could hear this punch on the video. It was a VHS tape. He caught me in the first round with a punch, and I thought he broke my jaw, but it didn't wobble me. It didn't hurt me. I'm like, dang, I'm thinking, man, this dude done broke my jaw. But I still kept fighting. Like, it wasn't a problem. I was like, yo, I don't like getting hit. I like getting, and I won that fight. I still won that fight. You know what I'm saying? But it was just I just like, yo, I don't like getting hit, man. I mean, that was one guy, but I used to spar guys. I forgot what's my man name. His first name was Ron. I forgot his last name. He was 147. This guy used to hit so hard. And he was a weight class under me. Like, this guy used to hit so hard, man, at 147. I'm like, dude, if he's hitting this hard and I'm 165, I'm walking around 169 sparring with him. How does it feel to these other guys in his weight class? You know what I'm saying?
Really hurt him, dude.
So yeah, definitely Ron and Kenneth Irons, those two guys right there.
Gotcha. Man, shout out real quick to my brother A1 Hoop Zone in the building. Hey man, if y'all any of the up and coming basketball news that you need to know, you know what I mean? He did a hell of a job covering all the trades, the free agent movement, you know what I mean? And with the season coming up, I know he's gonna be putting out more great content. If you want to know anything about the upcoming season basketball wise, man, shout out to, go sub to my brother A1 Hoop Zone. If you don't want to know, still go sub to him, because there's plenty of likes and subs to go around. A sub and a like don't cost you nothing. So, man, show these individuals support who going out here making content, bro. Definitely show them support, man. So, now, moving forward, so I know you said a lot of these guys, they don't like the, as far as you possibly working with other guys, training, coaching, that type of thing, how the work ethic is different now, right? We live in a microwave society. Everything, they want it now. And so, do you how have you seen that affect the sport today, professionally? Have you seen that mentality have an effect on the product that we're seeing in the sport?
Most definitely. Because look, man, I see when I'm looking at boxing now, I see these guys in these 10 round, 12 round fights, and they're tired by round 7, round 6, round 8. I'm like, dude, you gotta put the work. Look, you gotta train as you fight. Get your road work in, and you gotta have hard sparring. Light sparring is not gonna help you. I know hard sparring hurts you in the long run, but if you just fight 10 years, accomplish all you got to do in 10 years and get out, you good to go. Like, back in the day, these fighters fought 15, 20 times a year, and these guys fight 15 rounds. They weren't getting tired. But these guys are fighting 10-round fights, non-title fights, 12-round fights, title fights, and these guys are getting tired. I'm like, yo, you could tell these guys aren't putting the work in, man. Then on top of that, these guys aren't living, breathing, and eating boxing. So they're putting on like 25, 30 pounds in between fights, and then they're spending most of the training camp taking off weight instead of working on stuff. Like, yeah, you got to stay in the gym. Like, you got if you're a fighter, like when Bernard Hopkins, he was a pro in his early years, you got to be ready at any moment. Somebody call you like, hey, we got to fight tomorrow. Okay. It's like somebody canceled the fight. Somebody got hurt. Like, you ready to go? Yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm in shape. I'm at the weight. Let's go. These guys, man, come on, man. These guys, they don't live, eat, and breathe boxing, man. You got to live, eat, and breathe that. Like, when the 12th round comes, you got to be fresh and be ready to go out there and finish the show. But I don't see that in a lot of these fighters, man. They take rounds off, because these weight cuts are hurting. Being 30 and 35 pounds overweight and spending your training camp just cutting weight, it's hurting these fighters, man.
It's a fat camp. That's what it is.
Yeah,
it's a fat.
That's what it is. It's a fat camp.
You can't get sharper with your skills because you got to get the weight off before you can do it. You know what I mean? So my brother D-Ray Promotions, one of the biggest Bud fans that I know, he said, sounds like he picking Bud pound for pound. And that was going into kind of my next question, man. If you had to call a few names of fighters living that lifestyle, not necessarily going into fat camps, that seem to let me rephrase it. Who today, active fighters, who would be your top? I asked, do you have a pound for pound list? If you don't, who would be your top 5 fighters active today?
Well, I don't have a pound for pound list, and there really are no fighters that I can say, yo, I hate this guy. Well, there are 2 in particular fighters I do not like in all of boxing. There's 2 I don't like at all.
The world wants to know.
I don't like being negative. Money's
all
positive.
positive. All positive.
But you want to know the 2 fighters I don't like are Keith Thurman and Cripple G. I do not like them 2 guys.
Hey, sometimes Thurman and somebody the G should have been retired, man. So I have no problem with anything you just said. No problem whatsoever.
Them the only 2 guys I can honestly say, if whoever they're fighting, I'm cheering for the other guy. But other than that, like as far as this whole Bud and Spence thing, I like both Bud and Spence. I've never said nothing negative about either guy. You can't find any clip of me online saying anything negative about Bud and Spence. I like both guys. And I would have Bud, like right now, as far as what he's accomplished and what he's done, I would probably have him number 1 pound for pound right now.
I agree.
But I don't have a pound for pound. Like, okay, here's how I do my pound for pound. I don't have one, but I'm not saying it's wrong if you put heavyweights, but I never put heavyweights in my pound for pound list. I'm not saying it's wrong if you do. I never put heavyweights because the whole term pound for pound was created for okay, if everybody was the same weight class, who would be the top fighters? Because we know the heavyweights can be everybody. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if Bud and Joshua or Bud and Usyk were the same weight class, who would win this fight? That's what I feel pound for pound means.
And I can't agree. I can't disagree with you at all. And like you say, I'm a person who I don't think heavyweights deserve to be on the pound for pound list. When it originally was made, it was to compare everybody. If they were heavyweights, then what they would look like, right? So I agree with you. I don't have a heavyweight. I really don't even have I ain't even took the time to put my pound for pound list together. But real quick, man, shout out to the Queen Cassandra in the building. Salute to you. She said, salute. Dub right side, salute to your guests. Not sure who we rocking with tonight. Salute to the chat, man. We rocking with All Positive Network.
All Positive Network. No, never negative. All positive.
And me and my brother, we linked multiple times on different panels, and it's always been a pleasure to rock with them. We don't always agree, but it's always been a pleasure to rock with them, man. And if I agree with you all the time, it's something ain't right. Then something ain't
right. You gotta disagree about something.
Facts. Man, shout out real quick to my brother Brian Corbin in the building, man. Salute to you, Brian Corbin, for coming through, man. Much love, man. Y'all make sure y'all smash the like button, man, and sub to the channel if you're not subbed. Also hit the bell for notifications, man, so you get all the new notifications when we going live. So, man, all positive. So we got a couple fights, man. We get more into the boxing news. We're gonna talk about a couple fights. We want to talk about a couple stories, man. First things first. ESPN and the Ring magazine list, pound for pound. I know you don't have a pound for pound list, right?
Yeah.
But ESPN and the Ring magazine, I think Ring magazine did have Charlo on there and left Devin Haney out.
Nonsense.
ESPN left Charlo and Devin Haney out. Can you make that make sense? What's going on there? And is it bias? Is it they hadn't proven enough? How do you see that situation?
Both of these men are undisputed. Charlo, let me tell you about Jermell. Now, I'm not a big fan of Jamal Charlo, but I'm a big fan of Jermell Charlo.
Facts.
Jermell Charlo has basically almost cleaned out 154. He's the only guy in boxing right now, Jermell Charlo, right now at the moment, that has KO'd 3 fighters in the top 10 of his division. The only fighter right now that has knocked out 3 fighters in the top 10 of his division. Harrison, Lubin, and Castagna. No other fighter in the 17 weight classes have done that. So how is this man undisputed and basically almost cleaned out his division outside of Fundora? We know what's going to happen if they fight. How is he not in anybody? How is he not in the top 10? Devin Haney, undisputed. He beat the man that beat Lomachenko, who is in the top 10. of a pound for pound list, but he's not there.
And
That
that's
doesn't make sense.
Lomachenko's on both of their lists.
Lomachenko hadn't done. What's the last big Lomachenko win? I mean, Comey? Come on, man. Now, like a Tony? What's the last big win Lomachenko's had?
Gary Russell, and even when he beat Mr. Gary, they told me then that Mr. Gary wasn't even that, or he wasn't even a pound for pound fighter at that time. So,
and they didn't count the knockdown. The fight was closer than what the highlights on YouTube want to show you. Don't look at them highlights. The fight.
Say that again.
The fight.
They didn't count the knockdown.
Yeah, they didn't count the knockdown, and the fight actually should have been closer than what these highlights show you. If you pull up highlights of Gary Russell, Lomachenko, they're gonna show you all Lomachenko highlights and just him just act like he just dominated Gary Russell 10-2. The fight wasn't like that. That was really a close fight.
I agree. It was a real close fight, and I'm gonna plead the fifth because we'll talk about that one all day. I ain't gonna lie to you. We'll talk about that one all day. I also want to touch on what you said about facts. The man has cleaned the division out almost outside of, like you said, Fundora. He done beat everybody up, and then he's still taking on top competition. Tim too, his mandatory. He's taking him on in January. He still find the best. Yeah. I don't know how they disrespect that brother like that, man. I have no idea, man. No idea. Real quick, man. Ill Status Boxing in the building. Salute to you, brother. Appreciate you stopping through tonight, man. We also got my brother Rob G Film in the building, man. Salute to you, Rob G. Rob G said Jamel fought all the tough competition in his division and had a good road to undisputed. Mel is dope. Facts.
This is correct.
This is the one thing I have to say about Mel. First off, I agree. I'm a fan of Mel's, Maul not so much, but Mel showed you that you can have a loss, you can have a draw, and you can still have a great career. You don't have to have you don't have to be undefeated to have a great career. And he's taking the loss, he's taking the draw, and his brother is undefeated, and we still respect Mel more than we respect Maul because of the level of competition and the way he continues to put himself in position to fight the best. And he don't back. He ain't ducking no smoke. He ain't ducking no smoke.
A loss ain't the end of the world, man. Look, Bernard Hopkins lost his very first pro fight. You know what I'm saying?
Lomachenko lost his second pro fight.
Second fight, the Salido. It ain't the end of the world, man. A loss is not the end of the world. Look, Carlos Monzon lost 3 fights his first 2 years as a pro, and he never lost another fight for the remainder of his career. And he's one of the all-time top 5 great middleweights. Manny
Pacquiao, another one who was getting washed up in the very beginning of his career,
getting knocked out.
And what is he? A 7 division champion or something crazy?
Yeah, man. I mean, a loss ain't the end of the world, man. You should want to challenge yourself. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't want to do that as a fighter.
Facts, man. Man, speaking of Lomachenko, so we have Lomachenko coming back. He'll be fighting. Oh man, I need to write these names down. I can't think of my brother's name right now, and he can fight too. He can really fight. Oh, is it Rodriguez Gonzalez? We'll come back to that.
What weight class?
He's fighting at 35, and he just came off a victory that I didn't think he was gonna get. But we'll get to that in 1 second.
Okay.
Before we do it, Devin Haney is going back to Australia to fight Kambosos. Are you excited about the fight? Do you think anything changes in the fight? Is there anything you look forward to seeing Kambosos do to make it more of a fight? And do you look for Devin Haney to change up anything to possibly try to get the stoppage? Or do you think he should just go out, box, and win?
Actually, I think Kambosos is going to do better this time. I think he'll win 2 rounds instead of 1 this time. So I think Haney should keep doing what he's doing. Don't go for a knockout. Just shut him out again. He'll probably get two rounds this time and 10-2, whatever, across the board and whatever. So I think it's just going to be just wide again that they can't rob him. It's going to be so wide, and then Kambosos is going to be a thing of the past, you know. But then, like I said, I don't see much more. It's like the whole Anthony Joshua Usyk thing. I said before the fight, I was like, I don't see much more Anthony. What can Anthony Joshua do different? I mean, he pressed forward, but he's eventually got tired again. I mean, he had a good 9th round, but, you know, Usyk's just a better fighter. Haney's a better fighter than Kambosos. I mean, there's nothing more he can do.
I agree. And now going back to Lomachenko, So he's fighting Jermaine Ortiz. That's who it is. Jermaine Ortiz, and Jermaine Ortiz, he beat Jamel Herring in Jamel Herring's last fight. And then he had a draw with Joseph Adorno previously. But so he's fighting Jermaine Ortiz versus Lomachenko. It's supposed to be coming up, I believe, sometime in October, the end of October, the 27th, 9th, somewhere in there. But are you familiar with Jermaine Ortiz? I think it's a dangerous fight for Lomachenko, in my opinion. They're calling it a tune-up for him. I don't think this is just a tune-up fight because Jermaine Ortiz, he can fight. He can fight. He's
a good fighter, man. I just, I'm not picking against Lomachenko because he was picked for a reason. I mean, Lomachenko doesn't have Nakatani wasn't no walk in the park, but like at the end of the day, Nakatani is not a top fighter. But and Comey, he was coming off. He was knocked out by Lopez, but then he got the win. He got the win after that on ESPN one when Lopez was in the crowd cheering him on. He got the win after that. But we knew Lomachenko was gonna beat Comey. We knew that. But I got Lomachenko to win. But like I said, it'll be fun for a lot of times. I don't if Lomachenko loses, I don't want to hear any excuses from his fans talking about he got old and this and that, because on the boxing forums they're making excuses like if Devin Haney wins, Lomachenko got old. We're like, no, he could have had his fight 2 years ago. He could have fought Haney. I don't want to hear any excuses about him being old. I don't want to hear that. That's his fault. He chose to be the franchise champion.
And I'm gonna tell you, I had some people, they got upset with me. I said I want Lomachenko to have a tune-up fight before he fight Devin. The reason being is because if he don't, they're gonna give me any. Well, he was coming off a long layoff. He's old. They gonna have. It's already built in excuses. It's already, and so I want him to get all the credit when he beats Lomachenko. So I want to see Lomachenko look fantastic in this fight, and then I want to see him look fantastic against Devin Haney because I think Haney versus Lomachenko has potential to be a really good fight. Two very skilled fighters. How do you see that fight playing out, Haney versus Lomachenko?
I think Haney I think Haney beats him up. I mean, not to the point because Haney doesn't have. I mean, everybody says Haney doesn't have power, but getting hit in the face by anybody hurts. So Lomachenko he's not going to be just walking through Haney's punches. It's not going to happen because even 135 is still too big for Lomachenko. But I think Haney beats him rather easily. I think he beats him rather easily, and I think after Haney beats him, Shakur gonna retire. I just think Haney beats him easily, and then Shakur probably stops him.
Yeah. No, if he loses to Dev, then he becomes food at 35. And honestly, the Lomachenko that we saw at 26 and 30 is a totally different looking Lomachenko than what we're seeing at 35. Now, against Nakatili, go ahead.
Go ahead. You finish.
I was gonna say against Nakatani and against Comey, he looked good. But those are and shout out to Comey because I thought Comey looked very good in his performance this weekend. Yeah, I thought it was a good draw. I had it a draw, but I wasn't mad at it. But shout out to him. But I mean, he ain't got the work, he got the power, but he just ain't got the footwork. And so when you run up against these more skilled guys, especially those fleet of foot, like a Lomachenko. But we saw also Lomachenko have trouble when Tio was able to take that half step back and pivot with Lomachenko when he tried to change those angles. Hey, it kind of cut out some of that matrix that they like to talk about. So I think Devin can do the same thing, and with him being the longer rangier guy, also that jab. When you stick that jab in your face, it's gonna make you reset. And so the changing them angles ain't gonna be the same, But I still think that's a hell of a fight. I think that's a hell of a fight, and I want to see it. I'll definitely want to see it, man.
Haney is faster than Lopez. If he had trouble with Lopez speed, what is he gonna do with Haney and Shakur? That's faster than Lopez.
Hey man, it's gonna. But they got to prove it first. They got to prove it in the ring, and I want to see both of them in the ring. And Lomachenko, regardless of what people say about him, I think, man, he ain't got. I don't know. Got enough. Is he a Hall of Famer to you? Is Lomachenko a Hall of Famer?
15 fights, 16 fights.
That's what I'm saying. No. But Usyk, what Usyk got? Usyk ain't got that many fights either.
Usyk, what he did do, he unified his division. And he moved up, and he's one fight from unifying.
Agreed.
And so you can still have less fights and do a lot, but yeah, you still can have a little like not like a little bit of fights and do a lot, but I just don't think Lomachenko has done that much. Like I said, Gary Russell's biggest win. It was a close fight, but that was the biggest win.
That's interesting, right? I wonder if people think Lomachenko is a Hall of Famer. I wonder how that.
Obviously, ESPN does when they say he was the best fighter since Ali. Since when it was Bob Arum and who else said that? Joe Rogan. I'm like, come on.
Yeah. Hey man. These people, they get out of control sometimes with ESPN, just a tad bit out of control. So we know what it is. We know it has to be a tad bit of bias. We know, man. But okay, moving forward, man. Tank Davis, we're gonna stay at the 35 division. Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia.
That fight ain't happening.
I don't believe it's happening either. I have no faith in it.
You'll see me in the ring with Tank before you see Garcia in there. That fight ain't happening. That fight ain't gonna happen.
All right, so since that fight ain't gonna happen, okay, so we both believe that. Let me rephrase the question, man. How do you think Tank is moving? What do you think about the way he's moving? I believe Calvin Ford was on Blue Blood Sports. Shout out to Blue. You know what I mean? Much love to Blue Blood Sports TV. He was on Blue Show. He said that they company men and they fight for the money. What do you think about that comment? And how do you feel about the way Tank is moving in the division?
I agree with that comment because I like Tank, but Tank really ain't fought nobody. What's Tank's biggest win? Pedraza?
Yeah, probably Pedraza, I would say.
Yeah.
Maybe Leo Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz, maybe.
Yeah, but Leo Santa Cruz coming. I mean, we knew that was not. That's a good win too. But the thing about Cruz got his name from just going the distance with Tank. That's how he got his big name. And that's how a lot of people know him more. I mean, we know him because we're peers. We're boxing peers. But I'm like, come on, man. I mean, Tank, it was a good win, but I like Tank, your biggest win is like that, man. I want to see Tank fight somebody. I like the guy. I'm not trying to be overly critical of him, but dude, you got to fight somebody. I mean, Mayweather didn't even come up like this. Mayweather came up different. When Mayweather was coming up, he was beating the man Freddy's and the Genaro Hernandez and the Corrales. But come on, man. 135 is stacked with talent, and you telling me you ain't fought none of those guys that ain't been in the talks to fight nobody?
Hey man,
and the same goes for Garcia. He don't want to fight nobody either.
Yeah, well, we know it. Ryan Garcia. And let me. I don't want to denigrate either one of those brothers. So let me ask this. In a perfect scenario, Devin Haney off the table because of the 2-fight deal over there with ESPN right now, which looks to be Kambosos and Lomachenko. Who else? And Lomachenko off the table, of course, because of the fights he got coming up. Kambosos off the table. Who else in the division outside of Ryan Garcia would you like to see Tank fight? Or what would be a good fight in your opinion for Tank?
Well, he can also rematch Cruz since his hand is healed up. You know what I'm saying? And it's really the 135 is really top heavy. So I would say he already knocked out Pedraza. Comey would be food for him. So really, man, many fights that Tank has had, man, he's got to. Because Tank's he had like 26, 27 fights. I'm not in front of a computer or anything. I don't know. About 27, right?
Yeah, about 20, something like that. 27.
Yeah, 20, I mean, you got enough fights. You got to go for the big thing. You got to go for Haney, man, because Haney probably gonna fight Lomachenko after the Kambosos fight. So I would like to see him fight probably Haney or Lomachenko fight. I don't think Tank want that, even though I think he beats Lomachenko now. But he didn't want it in the past, and I don't want to see him fight for tuna. I don't want to see that, but him and Ryan Garcia is probably the only way to go, man. Him and Ryan Garcia, they could be battling for number one in the division. Because what's the name's the reigning champ? He's the top. He's a champ, undisputed champ. Haney, so him and Garcia got to fight the battle for see who's the next in the division after Haney.
That would be logical. Now,
yeah, logical.
I know if we look at the rankings and what I've come up with is at some point in time. And shout out to my brother in the building, man. OTB is in the building. Salute to Doug getting used to the new logo. Yes, sir, man. Hey, OTB, I see your logo as well, bro. Keep doing your thing, brother. Keep doing your thing. Much love.
Yeah, I like the new logo. I saw that, man. I like that logo, man.
Hey, man. So at OTB, if y'all don't know, OTB, my brother, he got the boxing school over there. You feel me? He breaking down film, left, right, side to side. Anything you want to see, all the upcoming fights. My brother got an upcoming debate as well, and I believe it's Michaela Mayer versus Alicia Baumgartner.
Oh my God! Man, look, that's the fight. I'm gonna break down that fight too, man. But that's the fight I'm not looking forward to Savannah Marshall Shields because I know Shields gonna dog walk her. But this is the fight I'm looking forward to.
Me too.
Mayer, but I think Mayer's gonna. I got Mayer winning a close decision in this fight, man. But I mean, I might be wrong. I've been wrong before. But yeah.
I believe I could be wrong. I believe my brother OTB is got. I think Mayer is OTB. Put it in the chat if you don't mind, bro. Who you got in that fight, man? Real quick, shout out to brother 5 in the building, man. G5 the building. Salute to you, 5. Much love to you, brother. Appreciate you coming through, man. Hey, hold on real quick, positive. Give me 1 second, okay?
All right, man. All right. Yeah, I got Michaela. I got Mayer winning that fight, man. I think Baumgartner can turn her lights out, but she shouldn't be so dependent on the power because Michaela Mayer got a gas tank. So don't go out and try to bomb this girl out, even though it's only 2-minute rounds. Don't go out and try to bomb her out, man. I think Michaela Mayer is just a better boxer overall. But I like both of them. I'm not cheering for either one over the other. But I just got Michaela Mayer winning a close decision.
Yeah, no, I ain't mad at that. I ain't mad. My bad, man. My my son, he done woke up and he like, I'm like, oh man, it's 10:30 where we at, so he's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's 10:30 here too. Yeah.
Man, real quick, man, we got my brother in the building, man. The Scalp Collector, Piro in the building. Salute to you, Piro. Much love to you, brother. Much love to you. And so, okay, I was wrong now. Okay. Baumgartner, of course, Brody's. I ain't mad at you. I got Alicia winning the fight. I'm biased. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm biased. So I don't even know. Some opinion it ain't even about boxing. I ain't even gonna lie.
Yeah. Now look. Now and you talking about who? Now you talking about if I see Baumgartner and Michaela Mayer in public, who I'm gonna approach first.
There we go. There we go.
Ain't no doubt about it. That's Baumgartner all day.
I'm biased. Like I said, I'm biased. So I'm gonna keep my opinion out of that one. That's why look, I try to keep my Devin Haney opinions out now. Once I realize I'm biased, all right, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But man, moving forward. So you like Michaela Mayer in that fight. Can you break that down? How you see that fight happening?
I think because she's gonna be aware of Baumgartner having that power, that one punch power. Mm-hmm. She's gonna be aware of that. So I don't think she's gonna engage with her. I think she's gonna box and hopefully Baumgartner don't go out there because she's been talking a lot of. Both of them been going back and forth on Instagram with each other. Mm-hmm. They've been talking a lot, and I would hate to see Baumgartner go out there and try to bomb her out and empty her gas tank early. Because if she empties her gas tank, it's gonna be some trouble by the 7th or 8th round. Michaela Mayer is gonna start turning in. Even though I know it's only 2-minute rounds, it's gonna be some trouble because Michaela Mayer, I think she's fighting to go the distance. That's what she's fighting for. And I hope Baumgartner's not fighting for the knockout. And she's to go out there and box and try to set her shots up and not waste any shots.
Yeah, I agree. I can't disagree with that. I can't agree at all with it, man. I think, man, I'm excited for that card. The entire excited. Card. I think, go ahead.
Because I love women's boxing. I first got into women's boxing in '95. It was on the Tyson, Frank Bruno undercard of Christy Martin fought. She stole the show, and then that it was not, my bad. '96 was '96. It was early '96, March '96. Matter of fact, it was the same week that Darvin Ham broke that rim when they played against Carolina that Sunday. He broke that rim that Sunday, and the Tyson fight was the previous night. Tyson fought Bruno that Saturday, and that Sunday, Darvin Ham broke the rim against Carolina in that NCAA game, the March Madness tournament game. So, and I saw that fight, and I'm like, wow, I didn't know that was women boxing was a big thing. And then I started and then I later that year discovered Lucille Riker, and then Tracy Bird, who was Chris Bird's sister. She used to fight on his undercards on Tuesday night fights. So I've always been a big fan of women boxing.
And real quick, shout out to Bruce Gas again. Chris Bird, he been on Bruce show a few times, man. So
oh man, I love Chris Bird. Chris Bird is my man.
Hey,
like back
Chris
in the
Bird,
day, I love Chris Bird, man.
He seemed like a really good interview, bro. Like he has that energy, and he's coming back. He's gonna fight again.
Yeah, I heard it, man. He was talking about that because Chris Bird, he got down in weight. I'm like, dude, he was washed up like 10 years ago when he moved back to 175 and got beat. I'm like, dude, I don't want to see Chris Bird come back and get beat
Bro,
up.
he talking about fighting at like 60 or something now. Bro.
I know. I seen him. I'm like, yo, Chris Bird lose his mind, man. He going crazy. Like somebody should talk to him like, yo, this ain't the right thing to do, man. Like, yo, just stay retired, man, and don't do this, man. I don't want to see Chris Bird get hurt.
My brother OTB said, do y'all think Mayer will have activity respecting Alicia's power?
Of course she's gonna respect that power. She got to. She'd be a fool not to.
So in respecting the power, did she put her hands in the pockets a little more then?
Well, like I said, I think she's gonna try to let her probably box and let her try to blow her load, and then she's gonna try to come on in the second half. That's what I think she's gonna do. I don't know if this like that is just my opinion, but I don't think she's gonna engage early on. I think it's gonna be like the Lomachenko Lopez fight when Lomachenko didn't throw any punches the first 6 rounds. And then the 7th round he started throwing punches. And then he tried to wait till Lopez get gassed a little bit. But I think she's gonna throw a punch here and there. But if she fully engages, if she wants to make this a Hagler and Hearns war, then she's gonna get stretched. So I think she should just try to box Baumgartner and try to take it a distance. And I think if she boxes her, she can win a decision. But like I said, I've been wrong before. I said I'm picking Mayer for the decision. And but if Baumgartner knocks her out, I wouldn't be shocked.
Man, it's gonna be a good fight, man. That's what I'm excited. I'm glad to see the top of the division mixing it up there. Same thing with Savannah Marshall and Clarissa Shields.
Savannah Marshall, man, she's gonna get beat, man. Because I looked at her footwork. Savannah Marshall is very slow, and if you make her go backwards, like the last fight, if you push her backwards, it's like the Lomachenkos and the Usyks. They cannot fight going backwards. They're very good fighters. Lomachenko and Usyk are great boxers, but if you push them backwards, they cannot fight going backwards. So,
and now that you bring up Usyk, man, I gotta ask him. We're gonna go. I want to get back to the Clarissa Shields Savannah Marshall fight. Well, let's finish up there. Then we'll go to the next one.
Okay.
I agree with you as far as pushing them back. Now, do you think the power advantage? A lot of people like to say Clarissa Shields is more pillow fisted, and she's still kind of. This is what they'll tell me. Not my opinion, but this is what they'll tell me. She has more of an amateur style because she throws so many punches, and that Savannah Marshall does carry power. Do you think Savannah Marshall is able to land her power? Do you think it's going to be trouble, or Clarissa Shields will have any trouble in that fight against Marshall?
Okay, I'm gonna say something real quick about that. Who's Savannah Marshall's trainer?
It's
I know who
Tyson
it is.
Fury. Tyson Fury's somebody.
I know who it is. I want you to say it was Peter Fury, right?
Yeah, Peter Fury. Tyson Fury's the father. Is his father or his brother?
Oh, his brother. His brother. Okay,
his brother. Okay, I know it was one of them. I can't remember which one it was.
I'm gonna just say this: where there's smoke, there's fire. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Now, one thing? Do they have VADA testing for this Marshall Shields fight?
Your guess is better than mine.
Okay.
I hadn't heard anything. But I believe they should. Isn't this an undisputed match?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wouldn't see. I mean, the WBC keeps telling us that they testing every damn body, so they should definitely have.
So if they got VADA testing, then we definitely got to go with Clarissa Shields for the win. Because like I said, where there's smoke, there's fire, and also, I think Shields would have more knockouts if it was 3-minute rounds. Because a lot of times when she fought Hammer, she would have these girls going, and then the round ends.
Yeah,
just like the Serrano Katie Taylor fight. If that 5th round was more than 2 minutes, Taylor would have been stopped.
Agreed.
Yeah. So I think women should fight. Why can't women fight 3 minutes? I mean, they fight 5 minutes in the UFC. Why can't they fight 3 minutes in boxing?
I mean, they always tell us equal rights, man, and respectfully. Hey, if it's equal rights, man, put them in the ring for 3 minutes. Let them get their slug on, man. Respect.
I love women boxing, man, because women's boxing, women's sports, women's MMA, I love the WNBA. I know Mex don't like all that stuff, but women play harder. They play harder in sports because they feel they have something to prove. So that's why I love looking at female sports, because they feel they have something to prove and they play harder.
And real quick, man, shout out to my brother in the building. D Free is in the building, man. Y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to D Free. He got a football or betting, sports betting as far as football going on. He'll be talking more football as the season continues. He's doing a hell of a job over there, man. Y'all go show that brother love. Had a hell of a debate last week with Coach. You know what I mean? I was privileged to be a judge in it. And, man, possibly the best debate. I ain't going to say possible. I think it was the best debate that's been on Knockout Boxing 86 TV's channel so far. Fantastic job, Be Free. Fantastic job, Coach, man. Much love to both of y'all, man. Much love to both of y'all. And so, but yeah, no, I agree with women's boxing, man. I think a lot of times they get slighted for being women, but yeah, you want to see excitement, and they come out throwing. It ain't no fill out rounds. They come out with the business. You know what I'm saying?
And look how many undisputed champions we got in female boxing. I hope I'm not leaving. I know, Franchon Cruz, and then you're gonna have an undisputed champ after the Carissa Shields Savannah Marshall fight. You got Jessica McCaskill and Katie Taylor, and I think those are all the undisputed. But then you got a lot of divisions where you got 2 and 3 champions, like the Michaela Mayer, junior lightweight Michaela Mayer and Baumgartner. It's like that's for 3 of the belts.
And the other girl, I can't even think of the other girl's name, but she been running from the big fight. She ain't trying to get in the ring with nobody and unify. I can't think of her.
You talking about in that division? Oh, you talking about Choi?
Choi, there we go. Choi.
Yeah, Choi. Yeah. She protecting that zero. She protecting that zero and that WBO belt.
So
WBA, I think it's WBA. Yeah.
Man, we got to give the women credit because they doing their damn thing, man. And we done had, some great fights already this year. And we can only go up from here. We can only go up. And with the card that's coming up, and I gotta say it, man. Shout out. Let me ask. I believe this is a top ranked Sky Sports card. That fight, correct? Because Eddie Hearn, I believe it was supposed to be on the zone, but I know not Michaela Mayer, excuse me. Baumgartner's with the zone, and Michaela Mayer is with top rank.
She was top rank, yeah.
And I think top rank and Sky Sports kind of have something going on where they kind of co-promote, you know what I mean? So, but hey, I think, man, I'm just happy that the fight's happening, and I think that's going to be a hell of a card. Man.
Oh, it is, man. It obviously it's the biggest female card of all time.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, it's all time the biggest female card.
I think the first time you got a female main event and a female co-main event.
And the co-main event could be a main event on its own if they wanted to do that.
Facts.
Man, that's the fight I'm looking forward to more than the main event. I'm looking forward to the co-main event more.
Man, talking about this, I got to ask you this, man. The sport of boxing as a whole right now, this year, 2022, where do you see or where is the sport of boxing in your opinion as far as what we've seen so far in 2022? Is it in a good place? Is it in do we have work to do? Where do you see the sport at right now?
Just my opinion. I think boxing is in a bad place right now, man. Because look, if you just got into the sport, if a lot of people, if they just got into the sport, I can understand they would like when people have their favorite fighters, they can cheer their favorite fighter on. I don't have any favorite fighters right now. Like, I like everybody, but there's no fighter like, yo, this is my fight I'm riding for. But it's a lot of fights not being made. Like, I brought this up as well. 147 at one point had 8 fighters in the top 10 that was undefeated. Now it's probably like 6. How do you have 6 undefeated fighters in the top 10? That means nobody's fighting each other. Then you have Boots and Ortiz, which I like. I like both Boots and Virgil Ortiz. But these guys have been pros for 6 years and they ain't fought another top 10 fighter yet. How does this happen? They've been pros almost a decade and have not fought another top 10 fighter in their division yet.
Castillo Clayton, he won top.
Come on, man. Yeah, man, it's crazy, man. But you got all these undefeated fighters in the top 10. Conor Ben's undefeated. Ortiz, Ennis, Crawford.
Stanley
Like,
Kunis.
why do we got all these undefeated fighters in the top 10? I mean, nobody's fighting each other.
Okay. I'm not mad at that.
And 147 and 135 got some of the best competition, like as far as talent, and none of these guys are fighting each other when they're in the division.
So we're gonna get to the weight classes in a few. We got a couple more fights, then we get to the weight classes.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask this. So now, the Usyk versus AJ fight. You saw? I know you saw that fight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How did you see it? First off, how did you see, or who did you pick to win? Did it play out like you thought it did? What were your critiques on that fight?
Well, I picked Usyk to stop AJ. That's what I picked initially. But I knew even though he won decision, I'm not shocked because he won the first one like 9-3. He won this one maybe 8-4. And then, but no way did I see Joshua winning 7-5. I don't know what that judge was thinking. But I did tell you at one point, like I said, I wasn't cheering for either guy, but at one point, at the ninth round, after the ninth round, I said, hey, Joshua might knock Usyk out. I thought it was over. After the ninth round, I was like, man, he gonna knock him out. But then after the ninth round, we saw Joshua blew his load. He had nothing left. So the rest of the fight, Usyk just dominated from 10 through 12. But he had, if Joshua had fought like that ninth round from the start, yeah, he would have probably stopped him, but he doesn't have the stamina to do that. That's the only problem. And you're not gonna outbox a guy like Usyk. You're not gonna outbox him. You got to jump on him. You know what I'm saying, you box. What they tell you, you box the fight and you fight the boxer.
Right. Did you think AJ's plan was the right way to come in and I thought he came forward much more in this fight than he did the first fight. I thought he didn't. He tried to. He did at least attempt to apply pressure throughout the fight. He didn't do as good of a job as I thought he needed to do, but I did see a difference in this fight versus the first fight. What did you see from AJ?
Oh, I saw him pressing. Look, there was spots where he would try to box, but after the fight, I knew what he was doing. I knew he was trying to conserve energy. But when he pressed forward, he had success every time he pressed forward. Every time. But he stopped doing it. But I know, I see now why that AJ just doesn't have that gas tank. He doesn't have a gas tank to fight like that. You know, and I had a problem with AJ for the fight, but after the fight, I respected AJ after the fight because he fought hard. Usyk was a better man. I mean, he could fight Usyk 12 times. He's gonna lose all 12. He'll never beat this guy. You know? But
I'm gonna tell you, I think if he for AJ to win that fight, man, he has to be in pristine shape.
Yeah.
When I say that, I mean you can't gas. If he can go and not gas, then I think he can win the fight. But you gotta be able to continuously put him. And I saw him hurt Usyk multiple times in the fight.
Yeah, you heard him in the night.
Right, especially, you know what I mean. So I think, man, if he could just, bro, you gotta get that gas tank in order, bro. Like you gotta get that gas tank in order. That's really what it boiled down to. But I mean, it is what it is, man. So, but talking about the heavyweight division now, we're going through the divisions. Any other fights that's on before I say that?
Well, Wilder's coming up.
No, we're gonna get to that. That's going through the division. We talked about Wilder because Wilder versus Helenius is it's a fight, but
you know I'm picking on that. You know I'm picking. You ain't gotta ask.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure the majority of people are picking the same person on that fight. It's more though. Well, we'll touch on it. First things first, like my brother asked, man, thoughts on Wilder being ranked so high in the sanctioning bodies with 0 wins in 3 years. What's your thoughts on that, bro?
Al Heyman. That's my thoughts on that.
Al
Heyman sent out them checks. that's my opinion. Those is my opinion that the checks got cashed. The same reason Keith Thurman is ranked so high in the sanctioning bodies.
And that, man, before we get to so now that you bring that up, I gotta say it. The corruption in the sport of boxing, bro. The corruption. From the sanctioning bodies to the suits, right? Fighters ducking, referees stopping fights early. Man, how do we clean this sport up, man? What did the cleanup of the sport start at?
Cleanup sport, I'm telling you this right now. and this is not an opinion, this is a fact. If you get rid of the sanctioning bodies and get rid of promoters, boxing will be cleaned up instantly. That's the main thing. Sanctioning bodies the problem. Sanctioning bodies and promoters. You get rid of them, boxing it'll be on its way. Because first of all, but it started with just the WBA. Then in '63, the first heavyweight WBC champ was Sonny Liston. Then the WBC came in. Then for years it was only 2 belts. Then it was Larry Holmes dropped his WBC belt because he didn't want to. I think it was Mike Weaver. He didn't want to fight. I'm not sure. Mike Weaver, somebody he didn't want to fight, so he dropped WBC, and the IBF came into play. There was a new sanction body. They made Hearns the IBF champ, and they gave them credibility because Holmes was the top fighter at the time, top heavyweight. So now you have Holmes as the top heavyweight champ. He's the IBF champ, and now you have 3 sanctioning bodies now. So WBO came in 1988. Nobody took the WBO serious until 2004 when De La Hoya, when they robbed Stern and gave De La Hoya the belt. And now him and Hopkins are fighting for undisputed. And they wanted to have De La Hoya be like, okay, now De La Hoya is a 6-time champ because he was like a 130-pound WBO champ. So now the WBO is the major belt in 2004. So now that the WBO is a major championship now, they got to go back and make all these other guys who were WBO champ, they now have to say they were champions. So now Michael Moore is a 3-time heavyweight champ. Herbie Hyde is a 2-time heavyweight champ. But if you get rid of the sanctioning bodies, get rid of the promoters, because every sanctioning body got their favorite promoter in their pockets. Don King used to rule the WBC, but Don King doesn't have his power and reach no more. We know WBO is Bob Aaron's baby. We know that. But basically, that's it. Sanctioning bodies and promoters, get rid of those. Boxing will be so much better.
Agreed. I think sanctioning bodies, they play a huge role in it. And like you say, man, I always say the WBO, man, whatever orders, and the WBA, we back out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I got boxing. I got all my boxing magazines from my teenage years up to now. I got almost 30 years worth of ring. Some of these magazines ain't around no more. International Boxing Digest, KO magazine, World Boxing, and there was some other ones I forgot the names of, but the ring is the only one that's still around. The ring's been around for over 100 years. But the magazines back in the day, they never even listed the WBO champs. They never listed them. And you will never saw unification fights with the WBO because other sanctioning by the WBA, WBC, and IBF would not allow their belts to be in unification matches with the WBO because nobody took it serious. And people would drop the WBO just to go for other titles. But not until 2004 did the WBO become a main title. And I knew that was going to be a problem because now you got 4 sanctioning bodies. That's a problem.
And it's interesting because now, even though the 4 sanctioning bodies have, or the other 3 sanctioning bodies, I'll say, they will allow you to unify with the WBO.
Yeah.
It's funny now, you got the WBA, they come out with a super champion and a regular champion. And then you got the WBC, they come out with the franchise champion. And dude, it's like, man,
you got like 8 champions per weight class. Like, come on, man. That's ridiculous.
Look, people who ain't, I didn't even know who was it. I can't remember who it was, man. Oh, was it Ryan Garcia? No, it was Teofimo Lopez. He come out walking with belts. And I'm sitting here like, bro, you're not a champion at 140, bro. Why are you walking out with belts right now? What are you doing?
I guess he still has his he's walking out with his 135, but you keep those belts after you win.
I know you keep the belts, but that don't mean you walk out.
You still be walking out with them. You still be walking out with them belts.
Go frame the belts, put them on your mantle, and leave them where they at. Don't come out here and look crazy walking out with all these belts, bro. Like Ryan Garcia, this man, he's talking about he ain't no champion. Hold on, wait. So he wins the fight. He said he ain't no champion, but the belt looked good on him. Devin Haney get in the ring, and he was like, well, if you a champion, I'm a champion too, right? What does that mean? What are you talking about, bro? Like, what's your thoughts on the belts not meaning anything now? With us hearing that the belts really don't mean anything, that fighting ain't about the belts. That's not what the sport is about. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, you know why they're saying that? They're saying that because they don't want to fight Devin Haney. Because he got all the belts. I mean, of course, they ain't gonna mean nothing if the guy got him that you don't want to fight. I would say the same thing too.
It seemed like to me. If you go back in time and you listen, I give Tank credit. The reason I give him credit is because he did tell Kambosos, "I'll fight you, but not for the belts." He did say that. I give him credit.
You don't want them sanctioning fees. You don't want them. That's 12%.
Agree. He said he making enough money. Okay, I'm cool. Ryan Garcia said he'll come out. He came out and said he'll fight Kambosos for the belts. Devin Haney get the belts. The belts don't mean that they contraband. Now all of a sudden the belts are contraband, and if you're fighting for the belts, you might get arrested if you win. That's what it sounded like, according to these individuals.
Well, Garcia is the same guy that was that could have fought for the WBC. He was number one WBC, but he didn't want to fight.
Yeah.
He didn't want to fight. What guy does not want to fight for a title? A young guy.
No, he wants to fight for a title. He just don't want to fight Devin Haney for it.
Devin Haney. Yeah, he didn't want to fight Devin Haney, but he had a chance to fight for the title. He didn't want to fight.
I don't know what it is, man. And you know, they'll tell you he pillow fisted and he this that. I don't know. And
well, if he pillow fisted, get in the ring and beat him. Like, I've never seen a pillow fisted guy that nobody wanted to fight. Everybody claim he ain't got no power, but y'all don't want to get in the ring with him.
All right, well, hey man, it is. Man, let's change divisions real quick, man. We've been talking about 35 for a second. Man, the 140-pound division, man. What's your thoughts on 140, man? How do you see that division with Josh Taylor now? I think he's dropped 3 of the 4 belts.
He's dropped 3 now?
Yeah, I think he dropped the 3rd one. You just had Ponce. He just won a belt versus Akhmadov. You know what I mean? He won that fight and he picked up. I believe it was the It might have been the IBF belt actually. I don't remember exactly which belt it was, but I know he just picked up a belt. Regis is supposed to be fighting Zapata for
yeah, I know about
for
that
the WBC. What's your boy name? Antoine Russell. He's up at the division. I think his next fight is supposed to be either Eliminator or for the actual belt. And then you got you still got Jose Ramirez, who was originally supposed to fight Zapata. He stepped away from it. Matisse, he will be fighting for a belt as well. I believe the WBO. And so, man, you got a lot of moving parts up there at 140, a lot of talent. You got Teofimo Lopez up there. He just ended up beating Ocampa, who I ain't really heard of or saw fight until that fight, but he won that fight. You just had the draw with this past weekend. With you just got a lot of moving parts. You still might see Devin or Ryan. He just moved up into the 40 division. You got Devin after his next few fights. He'll be moving up. Man, make some sense of that division for me, bro. Make some sense of it.
Taylor knew he was on borrowed time. That's why he's giving up those belts, because Taylor should have lost his last fight. I know it. So he know he was on borrowed time. Then he got those belts. Guys coming for him, and then so that's why he gave those belts. But definitely, I'm looking forward to that Zapata fight. Man. I'm looking forward to that. But 140's got a lot of talent, but I don't see Lopez beating a lot of these guys. I don't see him beating Prograis and Ramirez. I don't see him beating these guys. I mean, maybe he could pull something out with a punch. I don't think he brought up the one punch knockout power. He's still got the power he can wear you down with, like he hit you enough. But I don't think he has that one punch power he had at 135. But yeah, I don't see Lopez being as powerful at 140, and I think he's going to have a little bit more losses than at 135, at 140 against a lot of these top guys. I'm not sure Lopez beats Josh Taylor. I'm not sure of that.
And I threw a lot of names out there, so give me one. Man, real quick, shout out to my brother Con Shonery in the building. Salute to you, Con Shonery. We were talking about Devin Haney. They always tell us Devin Haney is pillow fisted, so that's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Salute to the queen, man. Aisha in the building. Salute to you, queen. Appreciate you stopping through tonight, man. Much love to you. Much love.
Con Shonery, what's up?
My brother Con, real quick, he said even Buddy McGirt, who fought Pernell Whitaker twice, said he punches like a feather duster, so I can't walk through him. He then said after that, Sweet Pea ended up beating the ever-loving crap out of him. So, hey, you can call him pillow fisted if you want to. If you get hit enough, it starts to accumulate. You know what I mean?
Hurts,
accumulation of punches are hurt.
Even guys that you say can't punch and they don't have power, getting hit in the face by anybody, even a 3-year-old punching you in the face hurts to a certain
extent. It
hurts. So if a grown man is hitting you enough, it's gonna accumulate, and then it's gonna start to break you down. So I don't like getting hit in the face, period, by anybody. So it is what it is.
Man, so now I'm gonna just throw a couple names out in the division. I want to hear your thoughts on them at the 40-pound division, and we'll rock from there. So, first man, like you said, we got to start with Josh Taylor. He was the undisputed champion. We both believe he lost his last fight, and it seems like he's gonna be fighting Jack Catterall again.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So, what do you think about him in the division? And I think they're going to be fighting at a catchweight, so I don't even know if he's still in the damn division, to be honest.
I think Josh Taylor's on borrowed time. Because he's on borrowed time 140. I mean, he is the top guy. He was the undisputed top guy, but I think he's on borrowed time because I don't see Josh Taylor beating anybody at 147 in the top 10. I don't see him beating any of the top 10 guys at 147. Because he's going to have to move up soon. I don't think he can no longer wait 140. But yeah, I think he's on borrowed time.
Okay. So next we'll go into Regis Prograis. A lot of people we got Regis about to fight Zepeda. I didn't think he was going to get this shot with him signing with Probellum, but I'm glad he did get this shot. I think he deserved it. It seemed like the stars had to align because Zepeda is getting married. You know what I mean? But not Zepeda, excuse me. Ramirez is getting married. But I'm glad that the stars aligned the way they did. Zepeda versus Ramirez. Talk to me about both of those fighters.
I got no. You mean Zepeda versus
why did I say Ramirez?
Yeah, Ramirez. Prograis. Yeah, I got Prograis. Look, Zepeda is a tough guy. We've seen him get knocked down and get up. Seen his fights. He's a tough guy, but I got Prograis in this fight. I think he's just gonna have a little bit too much skill, and he'll probably engage in here and there. But I got Prograis winning this fight, either a wide decision or by a late stoppage. I think it's possible.
I'm not mad at it. I got Regis winning that fight as well. I think the power that Regis carries in both hands, the skill, the speed, the educated footwork, I think it's going to give and the thing is, Zepeda does have great footwork.
Yeah, he does.
Now, the power for Zepeda doesn't always translate, but overall, he's a really good boxer. He's going to get his ass caught too many times. And
he's exciting. He just was in the fight of the year, last year.
Agree. But against Regis, bro, man.
Yeah, he's going to lose. He's going to lose that.
Yeah.
You know it, not know it.
The power difference is just it's too big. It's too big of a difference there. You know what I mean? So I got Regis winning that fight as well. But I do like Zepeda.
Yeah, I like him.
Jose Ramirez, man? What do you think about Jose Ramirez? Does he have a chance to challenge for? Well, actually, we'll come back to him. He ain't fighting right now. Subriel Matias, I believe. I can't remember what belt. Give me a second. I'll look it up while we're talking about it. But I know he's jumping into the ring. And he's going to be fighting for a belt. I believe it's the WBO belt, but don't quote me on that. What do you think about Subriel Matias?
Yeah, Matias. I like Matias. I like Matias as a fighter, man. You know, because like I said, we're starting to see more fighters he's from Puerto Rico. Yeah, we're starting to see more Puerto Rican fighters now come out. And I mean, we've always had them here, but we're starting to see more fighters like in the top 10 of Puerto Rican fighters. And I like Matias, man. I think he can make some noise. I think he can become one of the champions, but I can't see him being unified, beating everybody in the division. I can't see Matias beating a lot of the other guys in the top 10, but I can see him being like probably half, but not the top guy. I would pick Russell. I'll pick Russell over Matias.
And that's the next person we're going into.
Yeah.
Antoine Russell.
His last fight, he wasn't looking that good. Even though I thought it was a bad stoppage. He got the knockdown, but I didn't think he looked good in that last fight. Like, looked great, but he was getting landed on. He was landing punches, so he's got to fix some of that stuff before he fight a guy like Prograis. You know, he's got to fix some of that.
If he get clipped. And this is my problem. I'm a big fan of Antoine Russell. I'm a big fan of him. My problem is he comes in and it seems like he's rushing his work. When you come in rushing your work, and what we saw with Rancis Bartholomew is that he stayed patient and he started to counter. And then early in the fight, what he did, he gained his respect by clipping him. He clipped him early in the fight. He hurt Antoine. And I'm thinking, like, man, Rancis Bartholomew, he's one of the coolest fighters that you'll ever see. He's one of the coolest fighters, if that makes sense. The problem is he ain't no power. And, well, I ain't gonna say no power, but he has limited power.
Yeah.
And for him to clip Antoine the way he did and to hurt him, I thought he hurt him twice in that fight. And that worries me because if you do that same stuff, and when he was able to clip him, he clipped him from the southpaw stance, right? Antoine is a natural southpaw, and so he fights that way anyways, but Regis is a southpaw as well.
Yeah.
You can't come rushing in, bro. It's called a fill-out round for a reason. You know what I mean? And I feel like, Antoine, even his last 2 stoppages were bad stoppages in my opinion. I didn't think that
that was a horrible stoppage against Bartholomew. It was a horrible stoppage.
Bartholomew, and I didn't think what's buddy name? Postile. I thought Postile could have made it out the fight. You know what I mean? I think it was 13 seconds and they stopped the fight.
They stopped the fight. Yeah, and let me tell you, I mean, he wasn't gonna win the fight, but that shouldn't have been a stoppage. I guess they wanted to keep the streak going. I guess that was about, but no, they shouldn't have stopped it.
And all I'm saying is if Antoine keeps coming in the way he's doing, I just want to see him slow everything down. Everything needs to be a tad bit slower. You know what I mean? And I think he'll be more accurate. I think his body work can be better if he just slow down a little bit. You ain't got to go in the first round and in the first 5 seconds start trying to trade. No, bro, go in, use your jab. It's okay to have fill-out rounds. It's okay. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like it seems like he don't understand the concept of the fill-out round yet. Man, your overall? What do you see Antoine going? Do you think he'll stay at the top of the division? What do you see happening with him, man?
I think he can probably get a title at 140. I think he'll win a title there. I can see him do that, but I can't see him like moving through the division, dominating the guys at that division. And especially, he's gonna, especially he's gonna have to eventually move up. He's gonna grow, and at 147, he's definitely got to change his fights, change his habits when he moves up to 147. Because it'll depend on a lot of guys who are going to be there. Because eventually Bud and Spence are going to move up, and all these guys. But he'll probably be able to beat Ugas, and he'll still be there fighting. So he'll probably move up. Ugas will probably be a gatekeeper for a while at 47. So he'll probably be the guy that they use for that, this and that. But as far as Ennis and Ortiz, yeah, you got to change the way you fight, going up fighting those guys.
Agreed. And I don't know, man. I'm a fan, so. I just want to see. I hope, and with him having his brother in his corner, I hope he can just slow everything down just a tad bit. Not necessarily his punch speed, just slow the mentality down as far as I got to get this, that rush in style. Because when you do that, you leave you leave too many openings, and that's what we saw. We saw him leave openings against Rancis, and Rancis is very skilled. Very experienced. Those skilled, experienced boxers, they're going to understand how to take advantage of it, and you could put yourself in trouble, man. So we touched on Tio, how you said you didn't feel Tio was good. How do you think Ryan, does he stand a chance in that division, in your opinion?
In 140?
Yeah. Well, he said he if he's not fighting Tank, he'll 140 fighter now. That's what he said.
No. No, because he's another guy. Ryan got his chin way up in the air. He has fast hands and he has power, but his chin is way up in the air and he can be caught. Because when you move up to 140, you're a tall guy. They're taller than 135 pounder. But a lot of these guys at 140 can crack, and they're not going to be that infatuated with you like a Fortuna. Like once you start throwing these combinations, they're going to sit back and take it. They're not going to do that at 140. They're going to tap that chin. And I think ever since that Campbell getting knocked down by Campbell, it's been in his mind. And for a while, I don't think he don't want to fight nobody. I think that's always been in his mind since that fight. Because the knockdown, it wasn't no flash knockdown. That knockdown looked pretty ugly. It was scary.
Arm folded behind his back and everything.
So yeah, he's going to be in the world hurt unless he can start tucking that chin, which I think he's so far along that I don't know if he can fix it.
I will say, in his last fight against Fortuna, I saw him making attempts to try to keep his chin out there. I saw it. I saw two things. He tried to bend his knees more. He tried to keep his chin out the air. Now, his chin is still ended up in the air for the majority of the fight. It is what it is. But I at least could see that it's something that it seemed like Joe Guzman has been working on with him. I don't know. Like you said,
that's some Roy Jones mistakes. Roy Jones will always finish this, and I knew this, and I saw this in 1997. And I was on boxing forums since like 2000, but I would always be on the boxing forums. I would tell people, Roy Jones has a problem. He drops his hands when he finishes the combination. He drops his hands and pull back. I saw that in the Montel Griffin first fight. Because Eddie Futch had trained Montel Griffin to always finish his combinations with a left hook. That's what he would tell Joe Frazier and Ken Norton to do with Ali. He had trained Montel Griffin for that fight. He told him to finish his combination with a left hook. Every time Roy Jones finished the combination, he dropped his hands, pulled back. Montel Griffin was landing left hooks all night. And I was like, you find somebody with a good left hook, they would probably stretch Roy Jones. And what happened in 2004 when he fought Antonio Tarver? He finished the combination, dropped his hands, pulled back. Tarver
clipped his ass.
So I'm like, I don't know why people were shocked. I was saying that for years, but nobody. That was really the first time we saw Roy Jones hit flush like that from a power puncher. Tony didn't land anything on him. He shut Tony out. You know what I'm saying? So Garcia has that same problem.
Shout out real quick. Shout out to my brother L Dub Boxing in the building. Salute to you, L Dub. If you want any behind the scene information, if you want to know what's truly going on, the fights that's gonna get made, best believe this brother. He's projecting, he's researching, he talking. You know what I mean, and he gathering all the real information. L Dub, the plug, is in the building, man. Y'all make sure y'all go up to the brother channel because he's doing a hell of a job. And like I say, man, if you want to know what's going on, that's the individual to talk to behind the scenes because he will give you the real scoop. He will definitely give you the real scoop, man. So, all right. So with the 40 division, last question, Devin Haney. When Devin Haney moves up to 40, how do you see him doing in the division?
He beats all those guys. I mean,
all of them.
I think he beats all those guys, man. I think very highly of Devin Haney. He's not going to go out there just knocking guys out, but Devin Haney is a good boxer, so it's going to be better because he doesn't have to cut that extra 5 pounds.
Yeah, agreed.
He doesn't have to cut that 5 pounds, man. And if Josh Taylor was a pretty good boxer. I'm not saying Josh Taylor's trash, but if Josh Taylor was beating a lot of these guys by outboxing this and that, I think Devin Haney, he's better than Josh Taylor. He's faster than Josh Taylor. He has better defense than Josh Taylor. What is Devin Haney going to do in that division? He's going to dominate. He's going to dominate guy. I think Devin Haney's probably going to start having a little bit of problem once he gets to not even a problem when he gets to welterweight. He's going to start, getting a little bit more testy for him. You know what I'm saying? Start being tested a little bit more. But by then, like I said, by then, Spence, Crawford, and Boots, those guys are going to be out of the division. So a lot of guys from 140, like they're gonna be moving up and all this and that. And Conor Benn will probably still be there, but he's fighting to catch weight, so I don't know if he'll still be at 147 by the time Haney gets there. But Stanley Owens will probably still be there. But I think Haney he still dominates at 140, just like Sweet Pea. Sweet Pea dominated 35, dominated 140. He only started getting tested a little more at 147. I mean, he was still tested at 135 and 40, but tested more at 47.
Okay. And I see the thing is Devin, he's a big guy. He's a really big guy. So
yeah.
I agree with you. When I think right now with him cutting the weight and now, they say he got a nutritionist, this, that, whatever, with him cutting that weight, I think it's at his detriment. So, and even with, I look at somebody like Comey was able to, in his previous fight against Lomachenko, he didn't look that great. You know what I mean?
No.
Then he came back. He did get a win after that. And then in this fight, this past weekend against Pedraza, hell, he looked much better in that fight.
But he faded late though. He kind of faded because
he did fade. Go ahead.
He faded late. I thought Comey was dominating a little bit earlier, but then Pedraza started dominating late. So
agreed. But I still think that the lack of the weight cut. I think he looked in this fight. It was the best he looked in a lot of fights. And once again, Pedraza ain't no walk in the park, bro. It's not a walk in the park. A hell of a fighter. And but he had Pedraza hurt multiple times in that fight, in my opinion. I actually thought he was gassed. He was so damn gassed, he got hurt a couple times in the fight as well. It is what it is, man. Oh no, here we go. My brother T said, "Don't do that, Doug. Haney can make 135 easy." Well, they tell you that. And what you want him to say? We struggling to make the weight. I mean, what you want him to say, man? So, man, moving to the 47-pound division, one of the most exciting divisions right now in the sport, man. And if you don't mind, we'll drop the link after the next few questions. If you don't mind, and let a few brothers jump on if they got any questions for you. It's up to you, though. It's up to you.
Yeah, Con Shannon said Cornell only big losses were last two fights against Trinidad and Boriquez. Now, Trinidad, he was washed up for that. I understand that. And Boriquez, there was a shoulder injury. That's why he got the TKO loss, because he hurt his shoulder in that fight. But, 147, I thought he beat De La Hoya, but I think it was 147 was still a little bit hard for him because he was dropped by Wilfredo Rivera, and the fight was harder than what it should have been. You know what I'm saying? It was still a close fight. He ended up dropping Rivera too, but I thought a younger Sweet Pea, or if she'd be a little bit more power, would have got Rivera, would have had an easier time with Rivera. And he actually also went up to 154 and got a title. What's the guy's name? I forgot the guy's name. He beat him at 154. He won a title at 154. He went back down to 47. His campaign there till he retired. Yeah, but bro, you ain't right about that.
No, you good, brother. You good. Hey, any question you want to answer in the chat? Hey, if you see it before I see it, feel free, bro. This about you tonight.
Yeah.
So, man, going to the 47-pound division. Talk to me, man. So we got Bud Spence, Stanley Onis, Boots, Conor Benn, Ortiz. Man, you got a plethora of names at the division. Seems like the division is being held up right now by Bud and Spence, bro. That's what the fight. That's the fight we want to see.
So
we got some news. I was gonna say we got some news earlier. They said that the fight is damn near made. You know.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Well, that's. Don't quote me on it. I'm just telling you.
Now I'm gonna go around saying that. I'm gonna say Doug Rightside told me that the fight is made. I'm gonna tell everybody.
Listen, I've been saying this, and I'm sticking with it until I hear an announcement. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was looking for Airbnb today. I got a couple good deals. November 19th from Airbnb, bro. I've been looking. I ain't gonna lie to you. But this is the thing, bro. I gotta ask you. Does that fight get made, bro? They telling me it's made. Do you think that fight get made?
Dude, I'm not sure, man. Like I said, I ain't gonna get my hopes up for anything. I'm not sure. This one of the fight. That's a fight like Garcia and Tank. It's like I don't even like really. I don't believe it's gonna happen. But if it does, I'll stand corrected. But I just don't think so.
I want to go to the fight, and so anyway, that's a whole nother story. I ain't gonna get into all that. So besides those two fighters right now, well, first off, if they fight, who you got winning that fight? If you had to put if I gave you $10,000, I said, look, you can double your money or you lose your money. You feel me? But for you to double it, you got to put it on somebody. If you don't put it on nobody, you lose the money. Who you putting that $10,000 on?
Dude, man, that's a look. That's really a hard. That's a question you got to answer with two answers. You know, if Crawford is able to stay on the outside, I think he's the quicker fighter of the two. He will beat Spence. But if Crawford, who is a slow starter, if he starts slow and let Spence get on the inside, it's not going to be a second half comeback for him because Spence going to wear him down. You don't come back in the second half against Spence. That doesn't happen. Crawford's known to do that. He's come back in the second half against a lot of guys when he lost a lot of early rounds. Like he lost a lot of early rounds against Gamboa. But you can't fight Spence the way you fought Gamboa, the way you fought Sean Porter. You can't do that. because when you fight Spence, you normally get tired because this guy is throwing punches to your elbows, your body, he's just all up in your chest. But if he's able to stay on the outside, I got Crawford winning. If Crawford wants to fight, be a fool, and go toe to toe like he said he is, then it's going to be a short night. It's going to be a long night. It's going to be a long night, and he's not going to like it. But I think it's a 50-50 fight. I will probably lean more towards with Crawford, but Crawford has been inactive a little bit longer. And you got to think about that. And he's like 35, right? So, so you got to think about that. So I will probably lean more towards Crawford, edge towards for Crawford winning the fight by decision. I really don't think either guy's going to knock him out. I think it'll be a decision. We'll probably have a few fireworks. I think it's going to be one of the fights that everybody's waiting to see it, but then it's not going to be boring, but it's going to be like a chess match. Two guys respecting each other.
So I disagree with the chess match. I don't think it's gonna be a chess match. I think the shit gonna end up being a slugfest, bro. That's my opinion, and I'm gonna speak on it in a second. But I'm gonna ask you the question again because you said a lot of things, and I heard what you said, and everything you said was accurate. I do agree with what you said. I gotta ask the question again. I'm giving you $10,000. Right? I'm giving you $10,000. You can either lose the money if you don't pick nobody. If you don't pick nobody, you lose the money, or you can double the money. Who you putting the money on?
Oh, man. Okay, I just said I'm leaning towards Crawford, but Crawford has been inactive, and he's like
just
35.
But if you think Bud gonna win, say Bud.
I think, but he has been active. So I would probably lean with Spence now. Because I'm thinking about Bud being inactive, so I would say I would put the money on Spence to win the fight. But like I said, I won't be shocked to win, but I will put the money on Spence because Bud has been inactive. He's like 35, and he hasn't fought since the Porter fight. So I will put the money on Spence, even though I wouldn't be shocked if Bud won. So yeah, I'll put the money on Spence.
Damn. Okay, I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at all. And I will put the money on Spence as well.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I think that it's going to come down to a few different things. The first thing is Spence, from what we've seen previously, right? He's been coming in his last few fights that we've seen him. He's coming off injuries, those type of things. Bud is always in the gym. You damn right, he's always in the gym. And that's why I don't think ring rust will be a problem. What I think will be a problem is Spence, since the Ugas fight, which he looked very good in that fight. Outside of the mental lapse of spitting, whatever you did with the mouthpiece and getting punched in the face, whatever that was, I don't know. But outside of that, he looked good in that fight. And now with him going right back in and starting to train immediately for this fight, he the younger fighter, he the more active fighter. I think, like you said, if Bud can stay on the outside, I can see Bud winning. The problem is as Bud has moved up weight, his lateral movement has started to decline. And the one problem is like we always say, Bud got dog in him. Bud want to fight your ass. Respect.
Bud he better put that dog away in this fight. I'm just saying.
I agree 100%. Put the dog away and outbox him, outskill him. Use your range, your distance, your footwork. Your feints, you got to use all of that in this fight. And we know Spence going to be coming forward. It's going to be interesting. But if the same question I asked you, if it came down to me, I got to put that 10,000 on EJ. Either way, if EJ win, I win. If EJ lose, I was going to lose the money if I didn't put it on nobody. And so same thing with Bud. So it don't matter, man. I'm just happy that the fight happened.
Yeah, but after this fight, can we also praise whoever loses the fight as well?
We need to.
We need to praise because the fight got made. So we don't need to we don't need to crap on whoever loses. We need to praise both guys the fight made and give props to the loser as well as with the winner.
Agree 100%. And if the fight happened 2 more times, I'm gonna watch all of them. I'm paying for them, and like I told you, I've been looking at Airbnbs. L-Dub, holler at you. We'll talk about it outside of it. But I'm looking at Airbnbs and everything for November 19th to make sure. Man, I don't know if the tickets for that fight gonna be so outrageous.
Yeah, ring size will probably be what, 8, 9?
Easily.
Yeah, yeah,
Probably more than that. 15 is what I'm thinking,
Yeah.
to be honest. And I don't know, man. It is, and then when it comes to fights, when you go to fights, bro, yeah, it's good to be in the atmosphere, but I like to see the damn fight, bro. If I can't see the fight, bro, it's like I might just go to Vegas and get my spot. You know what I mean? And then whatever, we'll see what happens, man. We'll see. What happens.
Okay. I've never been to Vegas for a fight, right? But is it somebody told me? I don't know how true this is, but is it true that you can't order the fight pay-per-view in the Vegas hotels?
In the hotels, I don't believe you can. In the hotels, I don't believe you can.
Yeah, because somebody told me that. I'm like, that's crazy. Somebody said like when you be in the
You
hotel,
usually got to go somewhere. You got to go somewhere to see them. You know what I mean? Yeah. But then again, and like in the actual room, that's one thing. But then you go down to the casino, like the shit is different being in Vegas because you got the casinos and shit, and it's just a little different. If I can make sure you ain't in your room and you down here in the damn casino, you buying drinks, you know what I mean? Like it's just different in Vegas. So, I've never tried to purchase a fight from a room in Vegas. I've never tried to do that.
Okay, that would defeat the point. Why would you fly to Vegas and buy the pay-per-view? That don't make no sense anyway.
But no. So I'm thinking about flying to Vegas with a couple of my partners, getting an Airbnb, you know what I'm saying, going out and then purchasing the fight at the crib, you know what I mean, and having a fight party at the Airbnb, bro. Like that's what I'm thinking about doing. I don't know what I'm gonna do, bro, because I want to go to the fight. Anyways, we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about it off there. But all right. So now, finishing up 47, bro. So Boots, Ortiz, Conor Ben about to fight.
Eubank.
What do you think about that fight? I was going to ask, what do you think about that fight? Conor Ben versus what's his buddy now? I can't even call his name right.
Chris Eubank.
Eubank. And then I believe it's a weight of 150,
156. Yeah. 156 because he's a middleweight. Eubank's a big boy, man. So
that's what
I got Eubanks in this fight, man. I got Eubanks all day. I don't know why Ben is doing this because you got enough competition in your own weight class to jump up 2 weight classes. What's the point?
Man, I think he can win. I think Conor Ben got a chance in this.
He got a chance, but Ben is a big I'm being Eubanks. I think what Eubanks gonna rehydrate to.
But there's a rehydration clause in there.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay.
And that's why what I'm thinking is so Conor Ben probably walks around that weight, probably bigger than that. You know what I mean? Yeah. He probably walks around bigger than that.
So he don't have to cut as much.
And so he don't have to cut as much. And when you don't cut as much and you can rehydrate accordingly, you know what I mean, 10 pounds, then you're good. Where somebody coming down from weight, they walking around at a much higher weight class. Now they trying to come down to where and meet you here, and they can only rehydrate to probably where you gonna be at anyways.
Okay, now that changes my view on that. I didn't know there was a rehydration clause in that. It changed my view on it.
Yeah. It's I don't know. I think it's a setup fight, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think it's a setup fight. I think that Eddie Hearn looked at it this way. Hey, first things first, we can get a big bag here. We can get a big bag because this is the sons fighting each other.
Yeah, they build off their dad's names. That's exactly. What it's based. That's why. And they said this fight sold out. And how quick did it sell out? It said sold out in
like a day and a half or some shit.
Yeah, I'm like, because I get a UK prop. UK support boxing and their fighters, man. Thanks. I get them props.
They support the sport, bro, and especially their fighters, bro. Real quick, and you know this is the prime example of UK supporting fighters. Derek Chisora. This dude, he got like 11 losses or some shit.
Yeah. And
anytime he get in a fight, that shit be sold out. And I'm sitting here like, how the fuck
anytime it's a main event, look, dude, you can grab me off the street and put me against a UK fighter and Wembley would be sold out. They don't matter, man. They always supporting the UK fighters regardless of who they're fighting,
man. Facts, man. So it is what it is. Shout out to him. But are you interested in that Conor Ben fight? What's your thoughts on it?
But I tell you, I thought that Eubank would win, but man, you brought up this hydration clause. So Now that might be a little problem, man. That might be a problem, man, because we've seen Eubank get out boxed, and you know about Billy Joe Saunders and damn, I forgot the other guy name. What's the other guy name that beat him? Oh my God, what's his name? White guy that beat him by decision. But he can be outboxed. But I thought it was gonna be a problem that Ben coming up. But now it's a rehydration clause. I might have to go with Ben on this one.
Yeah, that's what I'm taking. I'm taking Connor Ben just because, like you said, or like I said, rehydration clause, and then Ben he's not gonna be drained. He's used to fighting down at a lower weight class. You giving him 10 pounds now. He already walks around at that weight damn near. Mm-hmm. Nah, I'm taking Ben, bro. I'm taking Ben, man.
I know. I know. Saunders beat Eubank. Yeah, Saunders was the other guy that beat him after that. Forgot his name. He beat him in decision. I forgot the white guy name. It's on my tongue, but I can't get it right now. I'm not in front of a computer right now.
Hey man, we go. I'm gonna drop the link in the panel, man. Anybody who want to come on and talk to the brother, all positive, man. First things first, man. We at 146 right now, 147. Bro, it's been a hell of an interview. You've been a fantastic member. You know what I mean? A fantastic guest. Appreciate you, bro. Because
oh man, no problem, man. I send you my bill later on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, if anybody want to jump on, man, anybody want to rock with us tonight, man, feel free. We got a couple more divisions to cover. I wanted to ask you this now. I know, and I need you to take your feelings out of this one right here. I need you to take it out.
All right.
Keith Thurman, bro. Keith Thurman. Mm-hmm. Right? Who do you see Keith Thurman fighting next? We got my brother Knockout Boxing, 86 TV in the building. Salute to Knockout Boxing, man. Much love to you, KO. Much love. Appreciate you stopping through tonight. Man, we got Keith Thurman, right? You know, I understand how you feel about him.
Yeah. He's a good fighter, though. I give him his props. He's a good fighter.
At the 47-pound division, man, who do you want to see him fight, man? Like,
I want to see him fight Boots. I think, look, as much as I don't like Keith Thurman, I think he has a good chance of beating Boots. I know that sounds stupid.
You saying he could beat? You think he'll beat Boots?
I think he has a good chance because, now, hear me out. I'm picking Boots to win, but Boots showed me something that I didn't like. When Boots get his opponent hurt, he goes in swinging with and I seen him 2 fights ago. He got clipped. It didn't hurt him, but if you get clipped by Keith Thurman, got a little power. If Keith Thurman hits Boots with that right hand that he got hit with before, Keith Thurman can hurt him. Keith Thurman got a pretty good right hand. I think that's the most I ever seen. What's his name? Garcia hurt when Keith Thurman hit him. Dan Garcia. That's the most I've ever seen him hurt. So Keith Thurman got some power. Now I'm picking Boots to dog walk him, but I'm just saying if he hits him, if Boots goes in and with that no defense trying to take Thurman out, Thurman can hurt him.
How real can I be with you?
You be real.
if Mario Barrios is able to make Keith Thurman spit his mouthpiece out, and Mario Barrios just coming up to the 47-pound division, just gonna tell you, Boots.
I'm picking Boots, man. I'm picking Boots all the way.
To the body, and it's not even gonna be. I don't know, bro.
But I just don't want to see Boots get careless because if he gets careless, Thurman still has that. He has a very good right hand, and you kids can't get careless with a guy like that.
Agree. And you know what? I will say this. I think that we do, and I think we downplay Thurman because. Even now, I call him sometimes Thurman, right? They call one time, sometimes, whatever. You know, it's the same to me. At the end of the day, we got to give Thurman his credit for what he has done in the division. The thing is, bro, when you was doing that in the division, bro, that was what? That was 3 years ago.
No, longer than that. That was longer than that.
I'm just saying, man, like, God, like, all right, you come in here and you start messing with these young, bro, if it's Boots, Virgil Ortiz, especially, and the thing is, you look at the body work that these dudes put in. These dudes attack the body, bro. They attack the body. Thurman himself, what he said, man, I'm soft to the body. Bro, ain't no way you can get up on stage and tell somebody you soft to the body. If you
I wouldn't have told nobody. But
I wouldn't say shit.
We already knew that from the Pacquiao fight. Pacquiao hurt him in the 10th round to the body.
And if Pacquiao, a much smaller guy than these
who was
guys
40 years old, let's point that out, who was 40.
Hey, you making my point now. I'm just saying, hey, if Thurman gets in the ring with those guys, man, them body shots are gonna break them down. And regardless of the power, those guys can take certain shots. And once Thurman start to get broke down like that, he starts spitting his mouthpiece out in the 5th and 6th round, he gonna have trouble. If you spit it out against Barrios ain't the puncher that none of those guys are at 47. None of them. If you spit your mouthpiece out against Barrios, well, you in trouble, man. It is what it is. Respectfully. And I don't like Keith, man.
I don't like him. I'll be honest with you, I don't like him.
I don't like him either, man. But I will say I am happy that he did come out and say he wanted to fight the top guys over there, man. So Stan Leonis, man. Stan Leonis, who do you want to see him fight? How do you see him playing out with him having the I believe the WBA regular title right now? How do you see Stan Leonis and everything he got going on? How do you see that playing out at 47?
Well, like I said, I think these guys, these guys start fighting each other. I mean, okay, David Evanescence, why can't he fight him? Start fighting some of these guys in the top 15. You ain't got to fight a guy in the top 10 because we know that ain't happening. A lot of these guys ain't fighting, but why can't he fight him? Bute, you know what I'm saying? Bute, why can't he fight him? You know what I'm saying? Because we know the fight against Ennis and Ortiz not going to happen, so let some of these fights happen. Now, put it in with Ugas. Ugas is probably reaching gatekeeper status. Ugas is probably 40 years old. We don't know his real age. He's Cuban. So you got them Cuban birth certificates. We don't know that man's real age. So put him in with him, standing on his with Ugas. Let's see where he's at.
Agreed, man. So I would move up and say let's talk about 54. Ain't nothing too much to talk about at 54 outside of what Mel is doing. Any thoughts? Any of your thoughts for Fortuna? What are your thoughts on 54? If outside of Mel Charlo, since he's clearly the king of the division, he's been fighting the best, taking on all challengers. Outside of him, man, what do you see at 54? And I'll throw a little spice on there. Bud and Spence, if either one move up, do you see them starting to dominate that division?
Well, at 154, Charlo's gonna eventually move up, but after he beats Zoo, and I think he's gonna beat Zoo. Agreed. I mean, the only other fight there for him is Fundora, and I think Fundora is another guy with his chin. And I like Fundora, but his chin's up in there. If he was hurt by Lubin like that, if Charlo gets him hurt like that, he's not gonna make. Well, at the end of the round or not, he's not making it out of that fight. And I like Lubin, I like Fundora, but after Charlo moves up, I think 147 is going to be Spence's division because I think he's going to move in accordance with Spence moving out.
154.
Yeah. Charlo's going after Charlo moves up to 160. Jamel, I think Spence is going to move up to 54. But right now, after he beats Zoo, I don't think Charlo has nothing more to prove. He didn't have anything else to prove. Maybe a fight with Fundora, but he has nothing else to prove.
Damn, Fundora, Charlo, move your ass up. Yeah. And this is the problem. Guess why he can't move up? He can't move up because his brother ain't moving up.
Yeah, brother was. But the fight that we never got to see at 154, Jarrett Hurd and Jamel Charlo. That's the fight we always wanted to see. We never got to see it because Hurd got beat. Now, I'm gonna tell you what about Hurd getting beat. I'm gonna tell you why that J-Rock win was so impressive. Hurd got beat by a Muslim during Ramadan. Now think about that. This man's not even eating during the day when he's not even eating during the day when he's training.
That's not necessarily true.
Well, Muslims, they don't eat sundown.
But this is the thing. So when it is Ramadan, you still have that opportunity. If you're providing for your family, then you can come back and make it up later on.
And you can make up the day, bro.
Right.
But J-Rock seems like he's pretty he's a hardcore Muslim.
And the other thing, my brother OTB, he was doing an interview with J-Rock with Jerry Hurd's trainer. and he was like, man, Jerry, he want to come back, but when he comes back, he want to come back at 60. You know what I mean? So I'm just that was the interview, how it happened. But go ahead, my apologies.
Yeah, but Jerry Hurd, he lost it. Didn't he lose his fight at 160 when he moved up? He already moved up to 60, but he had lost his fight.
And he don't plan to come back down.
Yeah, so, but that's the fight we should have seen, man. We should have saw that, man. That was a big fight right there. It never happened.
And then when Mel moves up, if Maul ever move his ass, that's the problem, bro. That's the whole problem. Maul need to go ahead and move his ass up to 68 and go get the smoke.
Yeah, because he ain't fighting nobody at 160, so he might as well.
It ain't like he gonna get a fight with Triple G, bro. You're not gonna get the Triple G fight. So what the and then okay, if you want to fight, go fight Janabek then. Go fight Janabek. And you don't want that fight. I know you don't want that fight. Real quick. Change the subject and then we coming back. Did Boo Boo Andrade duck Janabek?
I would look. If it looks like a duck and it walks like a duck. I'm not gonna say he ducked them, but I'm just saying if it looks like a duck and it walks like a duck. No. Don't quote me. Don't quote me on that. I'm just saying.
No quote. Hey, I'm just gonna go around and say all positive said that. And then I'm just saying, bro. And this was the thing. If you would have dropped the belt early, if you would have went ahead and dropped the belt from the beginning, when you said you was moving up and dropped the belt, then ain't nobody saying you ducking. Then when you been ordered again after you already done missed one fight, you done been ordered to make this fight, and now you drop the belt. Oh, you ducking, bro.
I'm just saying, if it got a bill and it's quacking, what is it?
Man, it's ridiculous, man. Boo Boo Andrade, man. Well, first off, so with 54, anything else you got on 54 before we move to 60 and 68?
Nah, I ain't got anything else on 54.
60. We see what's happening at 60 right now. It seems like Janabek, he's the champion now because Andrade has dropped his belt. We still have Maul, excuse me. Maul is still a champion.
Not fighting nobody.
I ain't even gonna say what I almost said. You almost got me to say the wrong shit. So then we also see Triple G. He got two of the belts. He just unified with Murata, and now he's gonna go ahead and fight Canelo at the 68 division. So he need to drop them damn belts and let them bitches be in limbo as well. How do you see the 60 division playing out right now? Who are you looking at outside of Janabek and Maul? And I ain't gonna lie to you, it's a thin ass division in my opinion.
I want to see Munguia fight somebody, and I want him to stop being protected. Because I think Munguia actually wants to fight somebody, but I think his handlers, they're protect. They are. I think they're protecting him, but because the Munguia, he wanted to fight the Triple G, but then who was stepped in? Was the boxing commission or whatever? Like, we're not gonna do this.
No, he wanted to fight Charlo. He wanted to fight Charlo.
No, he wanted to fight Triple G too. Because remember, Triple G needed a opponent. He wanted to fight, but then they was like, "Nah, we're not gonna do this." I'm like, "Yo, let him fight. The guy wants to do it. Let him fight."
Then he wanted to fight Charlo, and then I was gonna say Eddie. Oscar came in and was like, "No, if this fight happens, then we need to split the paper." No, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, we got to do all this splitting. No. We know that whoever has the belt, that's where the fight usually takes the place at, right?
Yeah, because Munguia got about 40 fights. He's ready.
He's ready.
He's ready now. Munguia's getting, even though his chin used to be up in there, he's actually, I think Munguia's gotten better over time. But let the fight happen, man. I mean, he got power. He got a pretty good chin because he's been tagged a lot. But let's see what he can do. But some of these guys got to start fighting each other. And 160 is worse than 135. They got to fight each other.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. 160 may be the worst division in boxing right now. Respect.
And they got talent. That's the sad part. They got talent there, but these guys don't fight each other.
I love the division, but at the same time, they not fighting each other. And like my brother Khan Chandra just said, boom, right here. The Munguia Charlo fight should have happened. Facts. But it seemed like Oscar, and we got to say, it is what it is. It seemed like Oscar is protecting fighters. It seems like there are a couple fighters. Ryan Garcia. I'm not gonna say Ortiz yet. I'm not going with Ortiz yet. But if Ortiz continues to move the way he is, I may have to say Ortiz. I gotta wait to see. I'm not gonna say him yet. Munguia, definitely. Even Zerto. Zerto was protected until the WBA just mandated him to fight. Right. So, man, and I understand it. Oscar is doing the same thing Floyd is doing. Mm-hmm. Floyd got Tank. Oscar got these guys. And so it's like, I got to protect these are my cash cows. So
investments. Take your investment.
But it screws the sport of boxing. It screws us. You know what I mean? So anything else on the 60 division? Anything else you got on it, bro?
Nah, that's all I got for 60.
All right, 68. We're going to 68 now. At 68 now, we just seen that Andrade. Is it Andrade or Andrade?
I always call him Andrade. I always said Andre and Andrade. Like, yeah, it varies. I
don't know what his name is. You know who I'm talking about. Yeah, he done moved up to 68. Okay.
He ain't gonna fight nobody there either. He ain't gonna fight nobody.
We got David Benavidez. He at 68 right now. Mm-hmm. You know, we're looking for Charlo to move up, and Canelo is undisputed at 68. Right? He's undisputed. So, talk to me, man. How does the division play out? Is it okay that Canelo is able to bring up a Triple G to fight for undisputed at 68 versus allowing these other guys to get their opportunity? Go ahead.
Well, it's not okay because these guys have opportunity, and we know Triple G is 40, and we know Canelo is going to beat him up pretty bad. We know what's going to happen. Triple G he's looked pretty bad his last couple fights. Look horrible against Derenchenko. I gave Derenchenko 8 rounds in that fight, 8-4. He didn't look too good against Murata until the KO. So I don't see what he can do against Canelo. Canelo's going to beat him up bad, but I tell you a fight that I want to see, but I don't want to see it. Morrell and Benavidez. But I'm like, what's going to happen if Benavidez beats him? Everybody's going to be like, well, Morrell, he wasn't experienced. But he's calling for the fight. So if he's calling for the fight, put him in the ring with him.
Now, I agree with it. I agree putting him in the ring, but then I listened to Ronnie Shields, excuse me. And Ronnie Shields said that, according to him, he don't think that Morrell is ready for that fight yet. And so
I don't either.
Morrell, he at this current moment in time, I believe he's the 68 champion in the WBA. If I'm not, I could be wrong about that.
Well, he's a regular champion.
I believe he's the regular champion, and I might be wrong. Let me look it up. I'll look it up real quick, but I'm pretty sure he's the regular champion in the 68 division. Give me 1 second. I'll let you know. Box. We're going to Box Ray Live right here. Boom. And I'll give you every champion. But I'm pretty sure, bro, like Usyk. All right, here we go. Light heavyweight. No. Here we go. Yeah. So Morrell is the regular champion at super middleweight. Super middleweight. Yep. Super middleweight, the WBA. And so he's equivalent to what Tank Davis is to Devin Haney.
Okay.
And go ahead,
He's a good fighter, man, but I just don't want to hear those excuses. If what he had 7, 8 fights, I don't.
He got 7 fights, bro. He got 7.
Okay,
yeah, 7. Even though he does look like the goodest, though he looks like
he looks good. But I don't want to hear those excuses when he loses. When he loses to Benavidez or Canelo, everybody be like, "Well, he was inexperienced." Like, no, he wants to fight, so I don't want to hear the excuses.
But according to the same website, and we're looking at Box Live right now, so if anybody want to go look this up, please feel free. Canelo Alvarez, David Morrell is his mandatory, and David Benavidez is his mandatory, according to Box Live right now. Also, William Skull and Zach Parker, right? And I believe
Zach Parker's the top 10 fighter. He's the top 10 fighter.
But I believe Andrade is fighting Zach Parker for the WBO mandatory. So if Andrade can win that fight, then it'll be Andrade. If he can win that fight, it'll be Andrade. It'll be William Skull. I'm not sure who William Skull is. I've never heard of him, and I've never seen him fight.
Yeah, I don't know that either.
He's 19-0. This is once again, this is just Box Live, so I'm just going off of their rankings. David Benavidez is and let me make sure I name the sanctioning bodies. Zach Parker will be fighting Demetrius Andrade for the WBO mandatory. The IBF mandatory is William Skull. The same guy said, I don't know, even though he is 19-0. The WBC mandatory is David Benavidez, and the WBA mandatory is David Morrell. Hey, the walls are closing in on Canelo Alvarez.
Canelo ain't got nowhere to run now. he ain't closing in on this at the 175, so he ain't got nowhere to go.
Wait a minute, you don't think he go back to one? Now he said he wanted to go back up there and
that beating he took from Bivol. What can he do different?
I'm just telling you what he said. I'm just telling you what he said.
Look, I say a lot of things I don't mean. I tell girls a lot of things, and I don't mean hardly any of it. So, look, Canelo can say all that he wants. He's not fighting. He's not giving. He's not fighting B-Roll again. He definitely ain't fighting Better Be. He ain't doing that. So what is he gonna do?
And this is the thing. When you look at the division, right? When you look at the division, you got as far as champions go. The WBO or the WBO champion, well, the WBO, IBF, and WBC champion is Beterbiev. Mm-hmm. And then you got Bivol, the WBA, right? You got Zerto about to fight. Oh, go ahead.
Bivol. Yeah, you got Zerto about to fight Bivol. So Canelo, he ain't beating none of them guys. And it was 175. So what's he gonna do?
And this is the problem. He ain't beating none of them guys. And now I will say this. This is gonna be interesting. You remember what they talked about? I hope I'm wrong about what I'm about to say. I hope I'm wrong about it. You remember what they said before that fight came to fruition? They said that he was gonna go fight the WBC champion at cruiserweight. I want to make sure I say his name right.
Yeah, I forgot. I know you're talking about. Yeah, I remember that.
Makabu.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
You got at cruiserweight. You got Lawrence Okoli for the WBO. You got I can't even say Opalektai. He just beat the other guy. What's dude name? I can't even. Bruh. He just beat dude in Australia. You know what I'm saying? To become the champion at what's his buddy name? He beat Breedis. He beat Breedis, right? So we got Lawrence Okoli, we got Opalektai, we got Makabu, and then I ain't even heard of this dude. And respectfully, and it's probably my fault. It's probably my fault because I don't follow cruiserweights like that.
Cruiserweight's always been
Arsene Gula. Hold on, Gula Monterian. I don't know. Dude, I ain't never heard of, bro. I ain't never seen him fight.
Division. It's always been the redhead stepchild, the cruiserweight division. But like after Holyfield, it was many years before anything interesting happened at cruiserweight after Holyfield left him with the heavyweight. You know, you had guys like Juan Carlos Gomez, you had Vasily Girov, but it's always been a bastard division, redhead stepchild that nobody paid attention to. You know, I don't know why. And then cruiserweight had some interesting fights there. Usyk brought some life back into it when he unified it, but even now, nobody pays attention to it.
Are you a fan of the division?
Not necessarily. I look at all boxing of its own, but like I'm not really a fan of the cruiserweight guys, man, because cruiserweight is like the reason why it sucks for the cruiserweights because they're too big for 175, they're too small for heavyweights. So they're stuck in a place like nobody really cares about.
Bro, I be trying to pay attention to these divisions, right? And I dropped the link. Anybody who want real quick, I gotta shout my brothers out real quick, if you don't mind, brother. Man, we got my brother Rolling with the punches in the building, man. Salute to you, Rolling. Much love to you, brother. Much love. Man, we got my brother Dundada in the building. Dundada, man, jump up tonight, bro. Man, we supposed to have a debate, Dundada, but it's all good. It's all love. It's gonna be love regardless. If you want to jump on, feel free, bro. Feel free. But no, man, I'm looking at it and I'm sitting here like, man, I know I've seen Lawrence Okoli box. I did see Opatai box. I ain't never the one fight I was supposed to see from Makabu. The shit was in a middle school arena or some shit. I don't know where it was at. And the other dude, I ain't even gonna lie to you, I ain't never heard of him. I ain't never seen the dude fight, and so I don't know the weight classes. I feel bad because I like to pride myself on knowing the majority of fighters in weight classes. And I have no clue who these dudes like. I have no clue. Bro.
I know. I watch the strawweights more than I do the cruiserweights. I'm a big strawweight fan because you got Manny Yothin and both fresh mark fighters, both CP fresh mark fighters. So I watch the strawweights more than I do the cruiserweights, and I love junior bantamweight 115. That's my favorite division in boxing. But the cruiserweight has always been, huh? You
said 115 your favorite division?
Yeah, it's my favorite division in boxing.
That's a division I can talk about. That's a division I can talk about.
Yeah.
And the reason I say it is because I was talking to my brother L Dub, I'm like, he asked me, he was like, man, what you know about 108? I'm like, huh?
Yeah, 108's junior flyweight.
Huh?
Yeah, it's junior flyweight, man. There are no unified champions like that. But
who fighted? You tell me a fighter at 108.
Bam had fought. Soto fights there. Elvin Soto and Bam Rodriguez fought there. He moved up to junior flyweight. He fought at junior flyweight on Jesse Rodriguez. So yeah,
he moved up 2 weight classes.
Yeah, moved 2 weight classes. That's what was more miraculous. What he did is more impressive. He came from the junior flyweight. I love the small division. You know, and Inoue used to be also in the in those weight classes. Inoue and Chocolatito, they were in those weight classes before too. Man, that's what gave it a little bit of credibility. Gave it some credibility. Why they
were in those weight classes, but they're not now.
Yeah, they're not now. They're not.
And I ain't gonna lie to you. So, and right now, like I say, I'm on Box Live right now, so I'm looking at the division. So don't think I know this shit off the top of my head. Just to be quite honest, the dudes in the division, bro. I'm going from 105.
I know Manny Yothin and a knockout fresh mark and Pet Manchi. I think that's how you say it, fresh mark. They call themselves CP fresh mark. I know those are the top fighters at 105. That is strawweight. And I'm going to top of my head because I'm not near a computer right now, and I'm not going to go on the phone because it'll cut me out of StreamYard. But yeah, I know because Manny Yothin, remember for a while he was undefeated. He was like 51, 52 and 0, whatever. But he had got 2 losses. Recently, he got 2 losses to the fresh mark. So those are all the top fighters there, and then you got the junior flyweight.
You said Maniosa?
Manny Yothin, yeah, Manny Yothin.
Is that his last name?
That's his last name.
Yeah, okay. Let's not do this. We ain't gonna do this. Only reason we ain't gonna do it because I don't know these, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Look, I had this conversation.
I follow boxing.
Yeah.
And once you get out of, I ain't gonna lie to you. Once you get outside of 112,
yeah,
I got problems, bro. I got problems below 112, and then when we get to cruiserweight, now anything in between, I can talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Heavyweights, I can talk about. Cruiserweight, and then the shit below, goddamn 112.
Well, see, I've always followed those weight classes, even as a teenager, because my favorite 105-pound fighter, even though I was in high school, was Ricardo Lopez. Because I know heard of Ricardo Lopez. He retired undefeated, but he's the greatest strawweight of all time. But we always wanted to see Ricardo Lopez move up and fight Michael Carbajal. We never got a chance to see that fight. And that's the fight everybody wanted to see. Man, Michael Carbajal, don't you? You heard him right.
Yeah, I've heard of Carvajal
Yeah.
before.
Yeah,
I have heard.
But Ricardo Lopez, he retired undefeated, like 50, something like that. But he retired like one draw. But Ricardo Lopez was a great fighter, man. Greatest strawweight ever, man.
Bro, I'm looking at these weight classes.
Well, see, you don't have many Americans.
Hold on, wait a minute, real quick. I gotta ask you this question. You got the minimum, the minimum weight class, the minimum weight. That's the name of the weight class, bro. The minimum weight. That's 105. The minimum weight.
It's called strawweight too. I mean, they got alternate names.
Yeah. It's strawweight. Bro, why they change that shit to the minimum, man? Because I don't know a grown man who can be 105, bro. Respectfully.
See, that's what I told my mom too, because I was telling my mom, I think it was a couple years ago, I was telling her about this guy. I'm like, yo, there's this guy named, because my mom watched boxing when I was growing up. I was telling her, like, they got this guy named Inouye who's knocking out everybody. I told his weight. She's like, my mom asked me, has he fought anybody black? I'm like, how many grown black men do you know that are 112 pounds?
You don't know nobody that goddamn small, bro. Bro, look, my point guard, I played basketball in high school. My point guard, that nigga was 5'7", right? Yeah. Slim dude from the Philippines. Man, this dude, he still weighed 137 or some shit. You know what I mean? And I'm saying, like, how the hell do you get down to that damn weight? Like, I don't know, bro. To get down to 105, bro, you put some motherfucking work. Bro, to get down to 112, bro. Nigga, to get down to 135, bro. To get down to 135. People don't want to see it this way. And I see it this way because, bro, I'm 6'5", right? I'm 6'5". Yeah. So when you 6'5", I ain't seen 135 since I was 11 years old, bro. It is
likewise. I was 135 at 12 years old.
Yeah. So I ain't seen this in a long time. But then I look at the weight class. I'm like, okay, if I wanted to box, what can I get down to? Nigga, I'm a heavyweight. It is what it is. I'm a heavyweight, bro. And it's like, man, it's hard to fathom that, because for somebody to be 5'10", just think about if you 5'10" to make 35, bro. You got to give up a lot of weight. You got to give up a lot of shit to make 35 at 5'10". Well, look at
Sandy Saddle.
Fundora, bro.
5'8".
Bro, look at Fundora, bro.
Yeah.
The nigga is 6'4". I'm 6'5". You feel me? This nigga 6'4" to make 135? Yeah, nah, bro. 154? 154?
Well, Fundora said he walks around at one. I think he said he walks around like 160. He said he don't lose. He only cut like 5 pounds. That what he said?
Yeah. If you walking around at 160 and 6'4", bro, you're damn near starving yourself.
That's what he said. I'm just telling what he said in the interview.
I'm just saying, you're damn near starving yourself. Respectfully to him, because I'm glad he can do it and can make the weight, but goddamn, bro, you taking everything you got out of you, bro. Like,
well, I do know a guy. He's taller than me. He's like, cause I'm 5'11". I know he's like 6'1", but he's 135.
I don't get it.
He plays basketball. I'm like, man, this dude's skin and bones. I'm like, yo, but 6'1". I don't see too many grown men. Like, well, he's a teenager. He's like 18, but 6', 135. I'm like, yo, he'd be great in boxing.
135?
Yeah, he's 135. He's 6', 135. Like 6'1", 135.
Okay, all right. I don't know, man. I don't know. But man, listen, shit. That's a hell of a cut, bro. That's a hell of a cut to make that weight, bro. Like, I don't know, man. But man, all positive. We done had a great interview tonight, man. We done had a great show.
Yeah, man.
And bro, appreciate you, man. Like,
no problem.
First off, before I cut the show short, because it's on you. It's on you. I'll rock it as long as you want to rock. Any other topics you want to talk, you want to touch on, anything you want to talk about, whatever you want to go for. If you got it, I'm here for it. Well, if not, we can shut it down. But do your thing, bro. It's on you.
Look. I'm really my other topics. Look, my most important things in life: boxing, basketball, I'm a hip hop historian. I got into hip hop in '84.
Oh, wait a minute. You're not a hip hop historian.
I'm a hip hop historian. Most people no, I'm a hip hop historian. I got thousands of records and CDs, thousands.
I'm not a historian like you. I'm not a historian. I'm a fan. So
yeah, I'm a historian, and I'm also a horror movie enthusiast. You can say like I love this. This is my main thing. I watch 90% of the 99% of stuff I watch is straight horror. That's it. All the Blu-rays, horror films, horror movies. I don't look at nothing else. And I've been doing this for like 40 years. You know what I'm saying? I got into hip hop in '84.
All right, so now that you say that, if you don't mind, if you got time, we can talk about it. So you the first thing that I resonate, I'm a movie buff myself.
Yeah.
You're a horror film flick, or you like horror films? What you telling me?
Love it, man.
All right, what's your favorite film, bro?
My favorite film of all time, Tales from the Hood. I know it's not seen as a great film, but I can remember the day I saw it, June 16th, 1995 at the theater.
Tales from the Hood. That ain't no real horror film, though.
Yes, it is. No, I'm going to tell you what it is. Nobody took it serious because the horror industry was dead at the time. The horror industry had died out. It was resurrected in 96 by Kevin Williamson. He wrote Scream. That resurrected the whole...
Scream wasn't no real horror. Okay.
Yes, it was. It's a horror film, man. These are horror films.
Okay. Let's do this real quick. So I think you're a tad bit older than me, but at the same time, when I'm growing up and I'm watching what I would consider horror films, right? I'm gonna give you the horror films that I consider horror films, and I want to hear your thought process on what I would consider horror film, because what you just named, Scream, is not a horror film.
Yeah, it is. It's a horror film. It's a slasher.
It's okay.
It's in a slasher genre.
All right. So horror, and I think it's different. I think, and this is what I really believe is the culture. The culture kind of changed in what was considered scary versus what I consider scary. It's kind of different, right? So, like the exorcism of Emily Rose. That's a horror film, bro.
Yeah, that's a supernatural. That's called what we call those spiritual supernatural films right there. Like when those exorcist movies like that.
Hey, my brother Con Shonner, like he said, The Exorcist. Yes, that's a horror film to me.
That's a horror film, yeah.
When we talk about so, and I want to kind of put it in perspective. I want to put something similar, like give me one more. Give me one more. You said, bro, or a couple horror films.
Well, I like Friday 13th is great. I like my favorite Friday 13th one is Part 4. I like Part 4 Friday 13th. I like Part 1 of Nightmare on Elm Street. Part 1 and 3 are my favorite ones of that. And you got Freddy the Halloween. Yeah, Freddy and Jason
and Michael Myers horror film.
Freddy was cool until they made him comical. Freddy was cool until they went straight comedy. But parts 1 and 2, he wasn't playing around. He had a little jokes here and there, but he was serious. It was dark. But then they saw they could make money, promote him to the masses, so they made him comical. They put him in rap videos. I'm like, man, even though Part 3 and 4 was good. I saw Part 4 at the theater in '88. But Freddy ain't the same no more, man. And Mike Myers, I like Part 4, one of my favorites. Part 4 and 6. The producers cut of Part 6 of Halloween. And then you have Death by Temptation, one of my favorite horror films of all time. I saw that at the theater in 1990. I love that movie. A lot of people don't like it. You never seen that?
No, I never seen it.
Oh man, Kadeem Hardison was at his peak on Different World, and then it was Kadeem Hardison and Bill Nunn. They starred in that. Death by Temptation, the first all-black horror film with an all-black cast.
Well, how you like horror films, bro? Like, okay, wait a minute. Go ahead, my bad. Go ahead.
Oh no, man, it's just look. I saw The Exorcist when I was 5 years old. I'll never forget. I saw it one Saturday night. My mom was with my aunt, and she had rented it, and I looked at it, scared me to death. But after that, kept renting more and more movies, and I'm like, yo, I like being scared. I saw the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I was like, I think I was like 6 years old when I saw that.
Did you just say you like being scared?
I used to like being scared. I don't know what it is, man. You know, I was scared to go to bed at night. I would look at these movies, and I was like 6, 7 years old.
Bro,
So, yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy you say it because so when I was growing up, you know, I wasn't allowed to watch that type of shit.
Oh,
and so when I got to college, you feel me? That's when I like literally my freshman year of college. I stayed on campus. Me and my girl, we stayed on campus, but I had 2 partners who had an apartment and shit because they went to the tech school in Valdosta, and so we would go over there every weekend, and we got to eat. If it's not a party, we watching movies, and I was the one who would go get the movies, and so you know I get all type of movies in that movie.
Yeah,
and so. Bro, I swear to God, the Exorcism of Emily Rose,
that was a good movie.
The Exorcist, right?
Another good movie.
Halloween, and there was another movie. There was one more movie. It fucked my whole shit up. Like it fucked my whole sleep pattern up for like a week, bro. Like. And I'm playing basketball at the time, right? So it fucked my shit up, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to practice and shit, tired, because I ain't slept all fucking night because I'm scared of these fucking movies, bro. Like,
oh man,
that shit got crazy, bro. I was like, nah, I'm good on all of this shit.
I look at these movies alone, like 3, 4 in the morning, all the lights out, and I look at them by myself. I'll be by myself.
Yeah. You good with that, bro? You good?
Yeah, cause look. You also, when you get it's tricky, you get into horror films now because you got to understand the timelines. Because even though there are 13 Halloween movies, that's not in order. Because the way you got to look at it is 4 different timelines. Because you got the timeline of part 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. And you got the timeline of 1, 2, and 7, 8. And you got the timeline
But this is the thing. It's not the horror film that gets me, right? It's that spiritual. That's the shit that get me, bro. Like, so if you have a slasher film or not like all of that shit, I'm cool with. I'm cool with Nightmare on Elm. I'm cool with all of that shit. It's the shit like I said. That's why I said the Exorcism of Emily Rose. That shit wasn't about goddamn. It wasn't really a horror film. That shit was a spiritual ass film.
Yeah, the spiritual film be scary.
Yeah,
I grew up in the church.
That's the shit that fucked me up, bro. Like I'm like, nah, I'm good.
I got away from religion. That's why I stopped being afraid of stuff. I used to be scared. I would be in church all week, and I would come back and look at these movies that would scare me. And but once I got away from religion, and I believe in the supreme being. I'm not trying to crap on anybody's religion, whatever.
You good, bro. You good.
Whether you're Jewish or Christian, Muslim, whatever, I support everybody. I'm saying once I got away from religion, I stopped being afraid of everything. So that's why I love the horror films.
Bro, all I'm saying is when it came down to the spiritual shit.
Yeah, it's scary. It's scary, man.
That's the shit that like all the other shit, man. Niggas coming in like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm cool with, bro. I'm good with it. Jason, I'm good with all of that.
So I know those guys can't catch me.
Right. It's the Exorcist. The Exorcist. It's all that shit that's spiritual. That I'm like, nah, bro. I'm good. I don't want to see it because, and the way I used to like the way she's had me, I would dream about the shit, and so I would watch the movie, right, and it's crazy because it'd be 10 of us at the crib watching the movie. Me and my girl, we laying together. My partners and their girls, they together. And so I'm trying to go to sleep, and then next thing you know, an hour later, everybody goes knocked out after the movie done went out. I'm the only nigga up. I'm up. I'm up, bro. I'm up, and I don't want. Hell no. I don't know what's going. Fuck that. Hell no. Yeah, that's me. You know what I mean? And ever since then, bro, like. I don't know, like I can watch the shit, but goddamn, bro, I ain't trying to. That should have put me on edge.
It's hard to take a chick to the theater, man, because a lot of chicks don't like these horror films, man. But I occasionally meet a girl that, and I know sometimes these girls don't be wanting to see these horror films, but they'll go to the theater just because it's me. They'll go there with me, and just because I want to see it.
Look at them, y'all. Look at them now.
Now look, man. I ain't trying to act like I'm a play anything. But, you know what I'm saying? I'm a quite the handsome guy.
You've been 100 on the panel break. Do your thing.
I ain't trying to like I'm a play anything, but you know I'm quite the charismatic, handsome guy. Girls want to be around me. I don't blame them.
Go ahead, keep cooking.
Yeah, but these type of movies, man. Like a lot of girls don't like it. Like and a lot of black people really don't like it. Like I'm a rare breed that I not only look at horror films, but I am a horror connoisseur. That's all I read about. Horror film, like mad books on horror films. I write movies too. I got a whole bookcase with nothing but screenwriting books about how to write films, how to write horror films.
You said you write movies, right?
Yeah, man. I learned how to write scripts, like the format of the scripts and everything, how to format a script and how to build your characters and how to write for the camera and all this stuff, man. It took me years to develop that without film school, because I went to college, but I didn't want to go to the film school in the college. I got other degrees, but I learned how to do that just from reading the books, man, and reading other scripts as well.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, man, what type of degrees do you have?
Well, I have 2 degrees. One in both history, African American studies, and one in anthropology.
African American studies and anthropology.
Yeah.
How has that helped you in life, bro? Like what? And I don't mean that. Let me rephrase that question. What have you been able to accomplish? I want to make sure.
Well, no, I don't make money off my degrees. Trust me, I don't. I just got them because it was a free. I use a GI Bill for the military.
So now, wait a minute. I gotta ask this now.
Yeah.
And if you notice, I was trying to make sure I asked the question the right way because I didn't want to be condescending of degrees, bro. I'm not trying to do that. What I was trying to say is though, the degrees that you have, how have they benefited you? Speak on that.
They benefited me. I've been benefited from the knowledge I received from it, because I actually, unlike a lot of people, I actually was learning things while in these classes, and I use that. We get offline. I'm gonna tell you another way I make money off these degrees. So I'm gonna tell you another way offline. But I also do tutoring. I do tutoring as well. But I don't like. If I wanted to, I can be a teacher. Or I can go back and get my master's. I took some master's classes after, but like I ain't want to fulfill I ain't want no master's degree. I took some master's classes, but I like, I'm good with just these. And there's places you can work, like work in museums and work. I can also work in the history department at my old school. They always told us about that, but like I said, I didn't want to use the degrees for anything. Like I use GI Bill and guy like, I'm making other money doing other things too, man. First I get my government pay whatever every month for my injuries, and then I got other things I do as well. So like I said, I'm sitting good. I'm sitting pretty, man. But like I said, I don't have to use my degrees to get paid. I don't at all. But I actually do tutor people and do this and that.
Man, real quick, man.
Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick, salute to my brother Smoke. Get this Smoke. if you want to get in the argument, bro. If you want, hey man, shout out to my brother Smoke, because Smoke gonna stand on his, do his goddamn thing, and he do a good job of doing it. We're going to have him on soon. Keep going all positive. Keep going. My apologies, bro.
I'm saying, yeah. But it's a lot of things, a lot of knowledge gained, man. And like I have several bookshelves, man. Like my whole thing, I'm real big on reading. I love reading hundreds and hundreds of books, thousands of vinyls and CDs. But I love reading, man. Like every year I go to the book sale. They got a convention center, got the book sale, and I see and I travel around to other cities and go to book sales to get the books at the library sale that they know people no longer check out. And me and my partner, my co-host Amber, I don't know if you've ever been on my channel with my co-host, we go every year to the book sales. And I just love getting knowledge, man. Reading. All I read is nonfiction. I don't read. The only fiction writer I read, only 2 fiction writers I read, are Donald Goines and Iceberg Slim. Other than that, I don't read any fiction. But I got the whole Donald Goines collection, all 16 of them. The Holloway the Holloway House, it was called, the publishing, those formats of the book, not the new form, but the Holloway Publishing House, the old formats, the 6-inch books. I got all of those. So yeah,
Hey,
I'm
man,
definitely.
Go ahead.
I'm definitely in that, like reading and horror and just having knowledge itself, man, and because even some of the stuff they teach in the school, you got to do your own research because you can't always believe textbooks. And I'm also writing a few books myself because I started this years ago. I'm writing several books. I'm writing a hip hop manual, but it's like it's a book about like hip hop history, about albums that it's gonna be like 800 pages. I'm interviewing different hip hop stars, like the Forgotten Stars, and albums that people are not too familiar with. Like, you never heard this group called Children of the Corn from Memphis. They sound just like 3 6 Mafia, but their albums sound like they were recorded in somebody's bedroom. But albums like that, you review those albums, interview these people that have long forgotten. And also, I got this other thing I'm working on, but I'm interviewing all older people in my area, senior citizens, and I'm asking everybody the same questions like, where were you when Martin Luther King got assassinated? Do you remember that day? Do you remember the day Kennedy got assassinated? I'm asking them how they grew up, how their parents' influences, about segregation, the Klan in that area. And and one of the first guy I interviewed, he's passed away. I interviewed him right before he passed away early this year. But I'm interviewing a bunch of older people because the thing, these are the true griots. These are the true storytellers of today. I want these black people to tell their story. I don't want to read a white person writing about a black person's history and me having to read that, because that's not truthful. I want them to tell their side of the story and let people know how things happen. I'm not going to censor their words or how they feel about anything. And that's become a problem with a lot of history books now, that a lot of white people and a lot of younger black people are writing history books based on things white people have told them. And we're not having the actual words from black people who were there. And I think that's just missing. Why can't we go back? Why can't we see interviews or read books on people that were there with Martin Luther King? There's still a lot of those people that were living, and let them tell us what they went through. Don't let the white history books sugarcoat what happened to these black people, getting sprayed with water hose and stuff like that. Yeah.
I gotta ask this, man.
Yeah.
We getting so far for boxing, but this is what the show is about. And the reason I say this is what the show is about, because it ain't always boxing, bro. When we find interesting topics, we want to dive into them. We want to question about them. You know what I mean? We want to talk about this shit. You feel me? So, and some of the things you're saying, let me ask this now. And if I'm asking the wrong question, let me know.
No, you're good.
So I've heard individuals say, as far as the black community goes, right? Can we speak on the black community?
Yeah.
That the black community suffers from a lack of fathers in the community. I've heard individuals speak on this. Do I always agree on it? That's a very broad base to agree with, if that makes sense. But I want to hear, like, what are your thoughts on the individuals who say that the black community suffers from a lack of fathers and a lack of self-control as well? What are
my thought? Okay. Well,
and one last thing, I want Sean, before you answer. Well, you'll answer, but Khan, go ahead and let me know when you say which black community. Break that down so I can speak on that as well, because we want to speak on it. We want to speak on it respectfully. If my brother all positive good with you, bro?
Yes, good. That's fine.
Okay, yeah. So, Sean, we want to speak on it, but be a little more specific so we can speak on it. Go ahead, brother. My apologies.
Well, I can't speak for every household, but I think to a certain degree, the black community, you can't say it's something with the lack of black fathers, but just because the black father is in a household doesn't mean that household would be on point. Because I'm gonna ask you a quick question real quick. There are 9 members in the Wu-Tang Clan. You know about Wu-Tang Clan, right?
Agreed. Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a quick question. Only one member of the Wu-Tang Clan grew up with both parents. Guess who that was? Just a quick guess.
Brazil.
No, ODB.
Okay.
And he's the guy that got in more trouble than everybody. So,
is that a fact?
That's a fact. He's the only guy that had both parents in the household. That is not it. So the thing is, it can be a lack of black fathers in the household, but at the same time, you can have both parents and still have kids that create. Because look,
agree.
In the 50s and the 60s, there was still trouble being made, and a lot of these households had both parents. It was still trouble. It's just right now, it's certain things that you might magnify over the other. But like I said, I think having both parents is a necessity. But I didn't grow up with both parents, and I've never been arrested, and I didn't turn out as a criminal. I know a lot of people a lot of my friends didn't grow up with both parents, but we had a good family structure at home, and that's why we turned out the way we turned out. None of us are junkies like my friends. We're not junkies. We're not criminals. We don't get arrested. We don't deal drugs. We don't do that. But we had good structure within our homes. So you can have just one. It could be a absent father in the household, and you still can grow up good. Sometimes you'll be all right. Look how many NBA players that grow up without their father. They still going to make some of them still. But I, to a certain degree, I do agree that black fathers need to be in the household. But it's not the end of everything.
So, is it and when we look at the children growing up today, right, and it is so different from what we saw when we were kids, right? And so you're a tad bit older than me, not much older, but you're a little older than me. But even then, with whatever, I grew up with a single mother, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too.
But with me growing up with a single mother, I also grew up with my grandmother and big mom.
Me too.
You know what I mean? That's how I grew up, and they were able to place certain thoughts and I don't know. They were able, what's the word I want to use? They were able to place certain skill sets within me that I can still survive off of today, right? And so, I want to give an example, then I want to hear your experience on it. I can go to my job right now, and because I'm going to come in there versus what other individuals come in there with, I'm going in with yes sir, yes, regardless of your age, your difference. If you're in a certain position, then there's a certain amount of respect shown just off of how I was raised, right? I was always taught to show, at the end of the day, you show the respect that you want to get back, and so the same way I expect you, even if you're my manager, you to address me as sir, I'm going to address you as sir. Yeah. The reason being is because, hey, you may be at a higher level, but there's a level of respect we have for each other. And it's interesting because I've seen that the younger individuals come in, and that level of respect is something totally different from what I was raised with. And I can see how it can be detrimental to what you're trying to build. Mm-hmm. And it's a very interesting concept. Were you raised with that concept? Were you taught yes sir, no ma'am, or yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am? Was it instilled in you? How did you see your upbringing versus what we see today in public?
Yeah, man, definitely, man. I was taught to be very, very respectful of people. Even today, I'm still respectful. I mean, respectful of people younger than me, because you got to give respect to get respect. So I'm respectful of the younger people, and the younger people respect me too, because it's all about respect to me. So I'm definitely respectful of my elders, man. That I see out and about in public and whatnot. But definitely, I would think a reason why a lot of things is bad right now, and I'm gonna blame my era. A lot of people don't like to say that, But the era I came up in, us born in the mid to late 70s, 75, 77, all that, 78, whatever. The kids we had when we was younger, those kids are now in their 20s. Or they're some of them are teenagers now, whatever, depending on how late you have them. And these are the rambunctious kids out there. Also, the era right before my older cousins who were like 5, 7 years older than me, their era, that was the crack era in the 80s when they had kids. A lot of those kids they had in the 80s, those crack babies, these guys, those kids are like in that 35, 36 time frame. They started having kids and they weren't taking care of their kids. They weren't instilling that respect in them. So it started with the era right before me, my older cousin's era, and like 7 years older than me, and then my era. Because my era, I think I'm gonna be honest with you. When I was going to high school, my era, we retired more teachers than any other era in our that came through our high school. Not me, I was always good, but like the kids in there, we retired more teachers than any other era. And I think it's sad, man. Because I remember being in class one day, one of the teachers retired halfway through the year. Like I was in English. She retired halfway through the year. She couldn't take it. And she had been there since the school was built in 71. This was like 93. She's like, she just left. And then another teacher, he was a history teacher, he left at the end of the year. And this was like 95, like my senior year. I'm like, we had a bad era of students, man. And I'm like, it's my era. We having a lot of the kids that we're having, our kids are having kids and they're not taking care of them and all this and that. But yeah, it definitely got lost along the way. The respect that was instilled in my era, we didn't give it to our kids. Now, I don't have any kids, but I'm just saying my era, we messed up along the way.
And that's the thing. And so, and my brother, I gotta say it, and then all positive, bro. I don't know if you know, bro. We damn near in 3 hours in the interview.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know.
But it's been all love, and it ain't been no conflict in the interview, bro. So I appreciate it.
I hate conflict. I hate conflict, man.
I'm with you. I'm not a. Now I can thrive on conflict. I can thrive on it, but I don't want to thrive on it. That's the last place I want to be. When I'm thriving on it, it's only because I feel like that's the only place for me to go. But it's a whole nother story. At the end of the day, man, we've had a great conversation, bro. All positive, man. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
And man, I gotta have you back on this show. I gotta have you.
No problem, man. You hit me up, let me know when, man. And I'm still keeping y'all like and subscribe. Dub Rightside. I love his channel. Just subscribe to me at All Positive Network. I talk boxing, but me, it's a female and male channel. We do clothing hauls. We do manicures, pedicures.
Wait a minute. And that's why hold on. That's why I gotta have you back on, because I want you back on. Which is significant other. I want to have it.
It ain't my girlfriend. It's not my girlfriend. That's my homegirl. That's like my best friend, my sister, man.
She's still significant.
Yeah, she's very significant to me. That's my friend.
I'm not saying she a girl. I don't care. I don't know what she is. Yeah. She's significant, and she's your other because y'all have a channel together.
Yeah.
I want to bring her on as well, and I want both of y'all on because, I got questions. I got questions that
yeah.
I think the family and not just me, because I need answers myself.
Yeah, because he's young.
That will probably help me in life.
Yeah.
But I want answers for the family as well, man. And all positive. You've been so great tonight.
Thank you.
You done brought a great energy. Just the thought process, the resourcefulness you come with, the mindset, everything you're coming with, man, is very respectable, and I appreciate it because I had a scheduling conflict last night, right? And I thought we might have a scheduling conflict, and you showed up and showed out, and damn it, I appreciate it. I appreciate it more, and just, man, next time I'll shoot you an email, and we can coordinate together. But definitely want to have you and her on as well, because we want the female perspective all the way, bro. We want that perspective. perspective because
Yeah,
we got
that's
a lot
why I
of,
got her, man. She gonna give me the. I'm gonna start back posting my videos this tomorrow, and I'm gonna go on full in now, and I'm gonna post more because I got a lot of them saved up. And yeah, she gives me the female perspective, us the female perspective, and I give the male perspective. We need both of that.
and we want her on as well because we got
I'm gonna
females
give
in the chat. We got my sister Cassandra, the Queen Sheena, Aisha. You know what I mean? We got the queens in the chat, man. And when we're speaking on these topics, man, we want to make sure that they're represented as well as we being represented. And I know because of us being up here, we represent it, but we need the queen on as well, man. Hey, all positive salute to you. Plug your channel. Let everybody know where they can find you. Let them know what you got going on. Y'all make sure y'all go sub to my brother, man, and we'll work it out. Go ahead, all positive.
Yeah, it's All Positive Network. You can catch me on Instagram. I'll be out doing one of my 8-mile walks with my backpack. You can catch me on YouTube. I'll be talking about horror, hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Boxing here and there, man. We do some reaction videos. I let her watch Hagler Hearns. I got to post that video. She had never seen Hagler Hearns. She's only 28 years old. So I let her watch that, and she reacted in real time to it, and I took her commentary from it. But that's what this is a female, male channel. We do clothing hauls, pedicures, all that. I go to the pedicure shop with her, and we do everything. And we just do it from the female and the male perspective. And big shouts to Dub Rightside for having me. I thank you. Peace and blessings, my man.
Man, peace and blessings to you, brother. Peace and blessings to yours. Appreciate you stepping up and showing out tonight, bro. Much love to you, brother. And I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. You had a great show. Damn it, 3 hours. We working on 3 hours right now.
And it wasn't boring. It was never boring to me.
You know what's so funny? We never talked about a time frame. I always say an hour and a half. That's my mindset. If I get an hour and a half, we good. And we damn near double that right now off of just love and conversation. So much appreciation to you, bro. Salute to you and yours. Salute to everybody in the chat, man. I'm gonna run through the chat real quick. If you want to stay on, that's cool. If you want to jump off, it's up to you. And we got my brother Khan Shinery in the building. We got my brother D Free in the building. Teach in the building, man. Let's see. We scrolling up. Oh, who we got? We got Dundada in the building. Salute to you, Dundada. Much love, brother. Appreciate you coming through tonight, man. We got Rolling with the Punches in the building. Salute to you, Rolling. Much love, Rolling. Much love. You've always shown me love. You may say some wild shit, but you still show love, bro. Much love. My brother Mike Biggs in the boxing. Mike Biggs boxing in the building. Y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to Mike Biggs, man. He doing his damn thing. And he got a great channel over there. We want to have him over here. We definitely want to have him over here. Teach once again. Teach is in the building. My brother Knockout Boxing 86 TV is in the building. You know what I mean? Who else we got? Let me see. Oh, L Dub Boxing in the building. The plug. If you don't know and you want to know, shout my brother L Dub out. Go subscribe to him. Hit him up on Instagram, on Twitter, and he gonna break that shit down for you, bro. He gonna break it down for you. We got who else? D-Ray Promotions in the building. Salute to D-Ray, man. We had a fantastic interview with D-Ray last weekend. Bud Crawford, #1 fan, respectfully. And so I ain't got no problem with it. I ain't got no problem. He from Omaha, Nebraska, man. We got my brother Sir Antbo in the building. Salute to you, Sir Antbo. Much love to you, brother. Appreciate you coming through, man. Much love to you. Aisha, the queen in the building, man. Salute to the queen for coming through. Much love, queen. Ill Status Boxing. Much love to you, brother. Much love, man. OTB in the building. Salute to my brother OTB. He breaking that boxing film down. Y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to him. G5 was in the building, man. My Texas brethren. I'm going to a Cowboys game this year, and damn it, G5, I'm staying with your ass. I don't know if you okay with that, but damn it, that's what's gonna happen. Respect. Once again, my brother D Free is in the building, man. One of the best debaters, and he had a hell of a debate this past weekend with Coach, man. Salute to you, D Free. Brian Corbin in the building, man. Much love, Brian, and appreciate you coming through tonight, man, showing love. Rob G in the building, man. Salute to Rob G. I'll probably see you a little later tonight. I'm not done. I'm probably going to jump on another panel. My brother Piero is in the building, the Scout Collector. He'll be on the panel pretty soon, man. Ain't anybody else, man. Damn it, I can't go through all of them. I tried my best to go through as many as I could, but All Positive Network, appreciate you, bro. And it means a lot. I had yesterday, I was supposed to go live, had some scheduling difficulties, but and thought it might happen today, but you showed up and showed out. Give your last words, bro. What's your last words for the night, bro?
Last word of the night, man. Everybody just stay positive, and there's no situation that can't be talked out. You know what I'm saying? Don't beef with your brother. Don't beef with your brother for likes. Don't beef with your brother for views. It's the whole YouTube community. You got views. You can get your views from your mans. You can add him some viewers from your channel, but there's no need to bring this negativity for views. Let's stay positive and be positive.
Man, you got a great message and a great channel, bro. All Positive Network, just the words themselves, it means a lot because everybody can't stay positive all the time, but just you showing and giving an example of being positive and doing the right thing, man. I appreciate it, man. Much love to you. Gotta have you back on the channel. As we grow, we want to keep bringing the family back on the channel, and you definitely the family. I look forward to being on whatever channel with you. And now, you know, when I'm on the channel with you, I might cuss you out. Respect.
Yeah,
respect.
I don't take it personal.
But, you know, I got a lot of love for you, bro. And I really appreciate you. Thank you for everything you've done for me tonight. And we had a hell of an interview, a hell of a time. And you always got a channel over here. Anytime, if you got anything you want to get off, if you got something you want to promote, whatever it is, damn it, let me know, because you got a friend in me, bro. You got a friend in me.
Likewise, man. Likewise.
Can't speak, so. But appreciate you, bro. Much love, man. Much love.
Peace, man.
Hey, and I look forward to catching you on another channel and cussing your ass out.
Yeah, I ain't gonna take it personal.
Take it easy, my brother, and thank you for coming on tonight.
No problem.
Man, we had another fire show, Rockin With Rightside. Hey, man, y'all know what we got, man. What we gotta go ahead and let y'all know what it is. Appreciate everybody coming through. Appreciate the family showing love like y'all showing love. 3 hours strong, and man, we'll be back next week. You feel me? We'll be back, man. So the only thing I got for y'all is this.
Bud Crawford is a fight fan, and he's a fight fan's fighter. The Ennis Express is a runaway train.
Ain't no pressure when you built for this.
Man down, round one. The True Parts.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the undefeated super flyweight from San Antonio, Texas, Jesse Bam Rodriguez! The universally recognized undisputed lightweight champion of the world, Devin the Dream